into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning Expresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Good morning, good looking. It's the middle of the week. We are freewheeling to the weekend from here on out. Thank you so much for tuning in. We love to have you in our company. A very good morning. My name is Graham Richards. Such a pleasure to be connecting with you this morning on a very important day. This morning, we bring awareness on Transgender Day of Visibility by chatting to Executive Director of Gender Dynamics, Liberty Marquez. We are also going to catch up with a local filmmaker, Gabriel, about the first South African gay rom-com created, as well as the story of transforming into the man that he is today. Should be really interesting. And finally, we are being entertained by Jade, an absolute powerhouse. It's a day of entertainment, yes, but also of understanding, of acceptance, of celebration in humanity. And hopefully you're going to jump on board and savor it as much as I am. Just about to savor the moment of seeing two gorgeous faces this morning. Beautiful. It actually hurts my eyes. They are so gorgeous. Oh, I can't.
No, stop.
I can't.
Continue, but continue. Thank you so much, Graham. I mean, you're a gorgeous man as well. But of course, today is a very, very special day, Jamie. As you know, today we are celebrating something that is so important. It is about visibility. It's also about tolerance. It's about gathering information. And it's about celebration, which is so important today. So today we are making sure that you got a good social media post. So please go onto our Facebook page and respond to this one. And I want you to tell us about someone you feel should be celebrated today, as you'll hear so many great performers, directors, the amazing people in the industry who are transgendered and also will to share their story as well, because I find that sometimes information around this topic is not readily available. It isn't.
Absolutely, and I think it's so important that we have this conversation so that we can be aware about what they're dealing with, but also just to open that conversation. So it's all about that. Connect with us, Expresso Morning Show, SABC3. Right now, though, it is time for those news headlines.
Thank you so much, team. Let's start with the news that broke late last night that everybody was probably watching. President Cyril Ramaphosa has kept South Africa on lockdown level 1 ahead of the Easter weekend, albeit with a few changes pertaining to liquor sales. In his address to the nation last night, Ramaphosa announced that off-site liquor sales would be banned from Good Friday up until Monday for 4 days. However, on-site sales of liquor at taverns, restaurants and similar remain permitted in accordance with the establishment's license conditions and the curfew, which remains the same. It remains in place and unchanged from midnight up until 4 a.m. every day. Moreover, the president announced that religious gatherings would be restricted to 250 people indoors and 500 outdoors, adding that smaller venues must remain within 50% of the allowed capacity. This is a significant increase on previous capacity restrictions. Funerals do remain restricted to a maximum of 100 people and to 2-hour services. He also announced that inter-provincial travel would be allowed, while new cases have remained stable at some 1,200 per day over the past fortnight. The president warned that South Africa is still in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, on to our international news, but staying on the continent. Portugal will dispatch soldiers to Mozambique in the first half of April to train local troops following an attack by Islamist insurgents on the town of Palma. A bilateral agreement is being finalized, calling for Portuguese Special Forces troops to be sent to the country. On March the 24th, heavily armed rebel forces began attacking Palma in the province of Cabo Delgado in Mozambique, killing dozens of people, including a South African. Palma is a home to French energy group Total and is a logistics hub for international gas projects worth some 900 billion rand. Then a little further afield, the heads of Brazil's Army, Navy and Air Force have all resigned as President Jair Bolsonaro struggles to contain a crisis over his leadership. On Monday, the president was forced to reshuffle his cabinet after his foreign and defense ministers also both quit. The defense chiefs quit because Bolsonaro apparently wishes to exert undue control over the military. Bolsonaro has consistently opposed COVID-19 quarantine measures and told Brazilians to stop whining about the situation. Nearly 314,000 people have succumbed to COVID-19 in the country, with more than 12.5 million confirmed cases, one of the hardest hit in the world. And next, why the president addressed the nation half an hour later last night. Xhosa newsreader Noxolo Grootboom was very emotional yesterday after President Cyril Ramaphosa announced that he had moved his address to the nation from 7 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. to allow the country to watch her read her last bulletin before retiring. Grootboom, who has been working for the SABC for an incredible 37 years, said farewell to the microphone last night. Her publicist, Yolisa Njamela, says that after seeing the president's message, she just broke down in disbelief. Njamela said she was absolutely overwhelmed, understandably so. A video of an emotional Grootboom in her home shows her holding her face in her hands and shedding tears in disbelief. The president had initially planned to address the nation at 7 p.m. regarding developments in the country's response to the COVID-19 pandemic, but it was delayed by 30 minutes to allow SABC viewers to watch the veteran newsreader's final bulletin before officially retiring. A chorus of messages of appreciation have been sent to Grootboom on her retirement. One described her as a torchbearer of the isiXhosa language in the newsroom. And we certainly, again, as we did yesterday, extend our best wishes to Noxolo. May she enjoy a fabulous retirement. She has certainly earned it. Well, on that wonderful note is where we leave our news headlines. Let's get into the sport. Let's start with netball currently unfolding in South Africa. The table-topping South African team made easy work of Namibia in a 59-26 win yesterday, making it 3 out of 3 against the side. That means the Proteas could go undefeated for the entire tournament should they win in their final game against Uganda, probably their strongest opposition later today, and be awarded the Tri-Nations trophy for their impressive efforts. A close encounter in the rematch between the baby Proteas and the President's 12 saw the President's 12 win by, again, another small margin, just 2 goals in a 36-38 thriller. The final games of the series will get underway at 2 p.m. today as Namibia play the President's 12, while South Africa will take on Uganda in the showstopper at 4 p.m. and that'll be followed by the awards ceremony. In athletics, an explosive 200 meters at the ASA Invitational Meet in Roodepoort yesterday saw Olympic champion Wade van Niekerk clock an impressive 20.1 seconds to win ahead of Akani Simbine, who is fresh from running the fastest 100 meters of 2021 last weekend, of course, in Pretoria. This proved a much-needed boost for the South African van Niekerk ahead of his move to train in the United States as he, of course, prepares for the Tokyo Olympics later this year. And then on to football. Nigeria ended their AFCON qualifying campaign with a solid 3-0 win over Lesotho, while Guinea-Bissau, they booked their place in the finals after defeating Congo, also by a 3-0 margin. Very impressive to finish second in Group 1 behind Senegal. Elsewhere, Senegal played to a 1-1 draw against Eswatini after coming from a goal down after half-time. And staying with international football, but moving to Europe, Portugal came back from 1-0 down against Luxembourg with goals from Diogo Jota, Cristiano Ronaldo and João Palhinha, sealing a 3-1 win. Jota scored the equaliser for the current European champions as the forward continued his impressive form domestically and on the international front, having been involved in 8 goals in 5 starts for Portugal this season. Incredible. Other results from the night saw the Netherlands put 7 past Gibraltar, while Belgium, they scored 8 against the Belarusian side. Thumping wins in the process there, and that's where we leave our sport for now. Well, let's see how the skies are looking in your part of South Africa and get a take on the weather with Carl.
Thanks a lot, G. We are kicking this Wednesday off on a beautiful note. And when I say beautiful, I'm talking about the submissions that you've submitted. And of course, Angela Burnley, you first shared this photo of the sun rising in the distance in between the clouds, casting a beautiful gold and red glow across the sky. Then Mariska Natasha Christians from Eldorado Park shared this blue skyline with the sun casting a small golden glow from behind the cloud cover. A mostly cloudy day is forecast for the area, with it reaching a maximum of 24 degrees Celsius. Thank you so much for those. Please continue to share and interact with us on the Expresso Facebook page, you may just see your photo featured with one of our weather updates. Now, while we love our local viewers, we also have to acknowledge our growing international audience who tune in via the Africa channel and YouTube. If you are based in London, England, then this update is just for you. The city has been a major settlement for 2 millennia, founded by Romans. The city stands on the River Thames. Sites visited by many tourists when travel was still allowed, of course, include London Bridge, the London Eye, and of course the well-known Buckingham Palace. Today, London will start at a minimum of 9 degrees Celsius and warm up to 21 degrees Celsius with times of sun and clouds for you. Now, encouraging environmental news is that the government yesterday released a revised climate change policy document for public comment, significantly reducing the upper limit target for harmful carbon emissions seen over the next decade. The draft document, which updates a 2015 study, outlines the mitigation, adaptation, and financing policies South Africa, Africa's worst polluter and most industrialized country, will pursue. Once finalized, it will be deposited at the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change before November. And South Africa has already introduced a carbon tax and intends to decommission several coal-fired power plants by 2030 as it diversifies its energy mix to include solar and wind projects. So good news for the planet. On to some temperatures from across your country, and as always, let's start off in Polokwane. 14 to 26 for you today. Bombela, good morning to you. 32 the max, that's from a minimum of 18. Pretoria, 15 to 26. Johannesburg, you can expect 24 degrees this afternoon. That's from a low of 13 this morning. Mahikeng, you also start at 13, but rise to 27. Klerksdorp, 29 is the high from a low of 14. Kimberley, 17 to 28 for you. Bloemfontein, 13 to 26 degrees. Richards Bay, a max of 33, quite warm, 21 the minimum. Pietermaritzburg also 33, but 16 the low over there. Durban, 20 to 30. Umtata, 12 to 33 for you, with an 11% chance of precipitation in your area. East London, 17 to 25. Cradock, you can expect 11 this morning, rising to a high of 33 degrees. Gqeberha, 16 to 23 for you. George, 14 to 24. Cape Town, 15 the low, that's to a high of just 20. Worcester, 13 to 27. Sutherland can expect 7 this morning to a high of 23, and Uppington wrapping up with you as always 19 to 33 degrees Celsius. That's a wrap of your temperatures from across the country. If you want to send me any sunrise photos, please do. You can just jump onto the Expresso Facebook page.
Beautiful. I'm in awe of your sunrise photos, man.
Stunning.
So good. It's like we've got like 100 professional photographers all taking. So thank you so much. Keep them coming. Expresso Morning Show Facebook page. That's where you can post your beautiful sunrise pictures. But thank you so much.
And in just a moment as well, I'm going to be sharing how I start my morning. And let me just say, it includes lots of these and also lots and lots of snacks. So stick around for that.
Be the hero in your home with Leroy Merlin DIY retail stores and the widest selection of construction, hardware, kitchen, bathroom, home decor and garden products.
Welcome back. As you broach your new day, let's find out how one of our own does her thing in the morning. Jamie Lee Domberg, the woman who does it all when she isn't serving us inspiration with her fitness journey. She's obviously on the show lighting us up with her radiant, beautiful smile, and then she still goes home to be the superhero mom that she is. Well, just last week, we were lucky enough to follow Jamie around for an entire day and really see how this bombshell does it all. Spoiler alert, it involves a lot of me time, playtime, and yummy snacks. Let's take a look.
Another show in the bag. I'm very excited for today. I have a much needed me day planned, and then it's time to fetch Luca for a very special play date. It's going to be a busy day, but I do promise you it's going to be a fun one. Let's go check it out. Know I've been on a massive wellness and fitness journey for the past couple of months. Today I'm doing an outside yoga workout with Kayla from the Arm Revolution team, because why would I work out inside when I can do it out here in the park? Hey Kayla! I have to be honest, I'm very jealous of the space that you're in, but this is my first time doing an outdoor yoga in the park, so take it easy on me, okay?
It's going to be so much fun and completely beginner friendly. Big toes touching, and let's just take a smooth inhale through our nose. Slowly coming up.
Definitely feeling the stretch and the burn already.
Really? Find your plank and then push into a down dog. If you're ever wanting to do the splits one day, this is a
great way to start. If I ever need to use that as a party trick, I'm sure I'll know where to find you.
Remember, sometimes it's hard on our mat, but we can take this experience off our mat and find stillness.
To be honest, the most difficult part of the yoga class is actually listening and paying attention, because most of the time I'm not listening, but you're doing great.
I think that's what's great about yoga. It allows you to just come to a point of stillness, you know? There's always going to be thoughts and things to do constantly in our mind. So we sort of train ourselves through a movement meditation to sort of quiet those voices. Bringing your hands down onto your mat and then coming to sit down. Beautiful.
I feel relaxed and rejuvenated and ready to pick up Luca for a mommy and son day to a place that we've always wanted to go, the aquarium. Wow, this place is stunning. Look at the beautiful fish. Luca, look, let's go. There's Nemo. Luca is currently 2 years old, which means he's a real busybody, always exploring and wanting to touch and feel everything, which means I really have to find my legs and really be on the go like him.
Bye, fish.
Feel it's cold. Hello. Here we go. As you can see, he's a real busybody, but while he is settled, good thing I brought a snack. Hey, Jungle Energy Bar for Mommy. This is me. No. I mean, what did moms do without these? I make sure I have this from the gym to work. It's the boost that I need. And the best part, they're delicious too. Come and go. Let's go. Honestly, this is what it's all about for me, spending quality time with Luca, exploring, but most importantly, having fun. As you can see, he's a busybody, so I have about 40 seconds before he runs off. Luckily, I have a high energy boosting snack. be sharp. And let's walk. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Whoopsie daisy.
Bye, fish. Bye, fish.
Oh, look at the shark. Hello, kisses.
Oh, too sweet for words, but that is how she does it all with a snack on the go. And I just want to add to that, we love and appreciate, we see you, Jamie Lee Domberg, for being an amazing mother and being just such a wonderful person to work with. So thank you so much. But it's also nice to get a bit of a life hack to see how you do it, how you squeeze in as much as you do every day. You've got to keep yourself fueled with the right kind of snack.
Hello.
What's up? Hey.
Jungle Energy Bars with the goodness of jungle oats for when you're on the go. Now available in 2 delicious new flavors.
You know, like Jamie always does, she inspires me and inspired all of us here. So I believe, you know, we have to get inspired and make something very special. Now, when it comes to healthier living, alternative milk is all the rage these days. Trust me, I'm even on the oat milk buzz. And there are so many options available. Oat milk, as mentioned, rice milk to soy, almond, lactose-free. But did you know that they are all are not just good for you, they're also delicious in coffee. And today we're showing you how to make a dirty chai coffee using oat milk. Sorry, Graham, you have to come in here, please, because we have to do this together.
Dirty.
Okay. So
Did you say dirty?
I said dirty chai.
You say
That's
dirty
it.
chai.
Now, this is how it's going to go. All right, let me take you through the beautiful, beautiful flavors.
Spices, yeah.
Now, the thing is, you need aromatics. Now, you saw Jamie in that. I mean, there was just that breathing in, breathing out. So you want something that taps all the senses. So what we need to do here is add some of the spice. I've got a couple of variety here.
Yeah,
and
fully
also
loaded.
oat milk.
Okay, nice.
Very important. I'm going to pop that in there.
Variants. And we get such good quality milk variants
Absolutely.
now. Really, really barista quality because we're using our barista device, which is too much fun.
Boom, boom. This is ginger. Just popping that in there.
Oh, okay.
Bit of cardamom, ground cardamom.
Nice.
Okay. You know, we've got a bit of allspice
I'm right
in here
in
as well.
assuming that this is like the chai basics. Okay.
Yes, that's it. Touch of cinnamon. So like we got all the spices in there. And now all I'm going to do is I want that to frost together.
Okay.
You know, because that's the aromatics will actually, as it heats up with the oat milk, it's going to start releasing their natural.
activated.
Yes. And then I'm just going to pop that on there and now it does its thing.
And you'll see this device has crazy settings on it.
It does.
Like anything that you want to create, it will create the right kind of foam, froth, crema that you need, man.
And that's it. So the thing is, I want to use a capsule that's close to my heart.
Okay.
So now we're using the Barista Creations Corto flavor. Now, the reason why Corto is close to my heart, because I am a Corto. And it makes sense, because that's how it's
I was going to say because you're robust in your nature.
And a bit of roastiness, right?
No, you are. You're
body.
a robust character.
Thank you. Strong and intense, as they say, with the Corto. And that's how I can be inspired.
And also,
by
you're a
dark
half
roasts.
and half.
You know, you can have me either way. I mean, I'm more of a shot, but that's why I think ristretto is the one that I'm going to go for today.
Beautiful.
And with a Corto, ristretto is perfect. It just does its thing, and it's going to be beautiful, especially knowing that is going to be quite balancing. I can do something stronger there. And then pop the oat milk in with aromatics.
That's the doity.
Oh,
that's
yes,
where you
it
make
is.
it doity.
That's
So this is a normal chai, and then we're going to doity it up with the corto.
Aroma-wise, I want you to give just a little bit of... look at that.
Oh, that's
rich
lovely.
aftertaste on
And
that,
sometimes
though.
the corto is lacquer because it's just all about that of flavor.
Elegant bitterness as well, because I love a good bit of bitterness.
Are you talking
as
about
well.
yourself again? Or?
No, I'm never bitter.
You're not bitter,
Because you're
man.
very
You're not
sweet.
a bitter guy.
Oh, thank
You're
you.
a really, really upbeat
This
kind
is
of
why
guy,
I
man.
love the corto. You know what I'm saying? This is beautiful. So we're looking for, you got like mild body, strong roastiness, strong, mild body. That's right. You see, this is why I like it. It's me.
Strong.
And then low acidity. You can stop it over there.
Give that a... There we go.
And then
it
I'm
even
going to
tells
make
you
sure.
with an LED screen, it tells you what's going on.
It does indeed. And I'm going to just pop this in here. And once it's done its thing,
I'm
that is your
excited for
dirty
this,
chai. All right. A dirty chai for an amazing guy.
Wake your better half up with this morning.
Now,
They'll smell that before they've even opened their eyes. They'll get
that is great. This is yours, by the way. I only made you one because I love you so much, and this is why.
you, man.
So from the tall O to the corto, what do you think?
Wow, it's in your nose, eh? That's
yes, it is.
beautiful, man.
And I know I mentioned a couple of spices earlier. I said that there were a few of them. If you missed out on them, just get your hands on this delicious recipe. I've got you sorted out on expressoshow.com. Thoughts?
Like you, it is well balanced.
Oh,
It's very well balanced.
Look
man.
at that.
Look at it.
Look at me.
No,
Well
that's
balanced. Try
delicious,
it.
man.
It's an oat milk dirty chai.
That's actually really nice.
With every cup, we cultivate some of the finest coffee in the world, celebrating farmers as artists, elevating every coffee moment. Because with every cup, precious coffee preserves the beauty of our world. Nespresso, what else?
Only you can make my day.
Next person's Marquez.
Are we in at Brituna?
Yes.
Okay, I'm correct. Then we start counting at break 3 and 4.
Should I get liberty?
Yeah, I can get that. Also bring Jade through again, man.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
It is indeed your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso, here at SABC3. And I figured that we need to tap into some loungewear, because that's probably what you're wearing now, what you wore all last year, and a term we all know and love. And I still remember those lazy Sunday afternoons and the chilled pants and the hoodie. But never in my wildest dreams did I actually imagine that a few years down the line, this style would actually become the trend of the decade. That's what it's become. So we talk about the basic sweatsuit. It's an everyday essential, as you know. It's what we lived in last year. It doesn't have to be boring or sloppy. It actually can be picture perfect, and that's why we brought in the experts. Creative director and stylist Taryn Oppel is showing us how to turn a basic sweatsuit into more than everyday essential, so we could almost be not red carpet ready, but our carpet ready, which is important. Hi, Taryn, welcome.
Hello, good morning.
So when I look at a sweatsuit, as I mentioned, this is sort of more lockdown wear, but we've come to say loungewear.
I also love that you call it an everyday essential.
It is
That's what it is.
But it's the great thing. I think while you're picking what to wear, you wear the loungewear sometimes.
Yep.
And then sometimes you just realize, hold on, I look really good in this. So if we were to look like, just to start things off, you know, with regard to loungewear itself, for somebody who is like, what is loungewear? Is it stuff that I wear in my lounge? Let's just break it down first.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it is a trend currently.
Yes.
And you'd think why? Because, I mean, we've all had sweatsuits in our cupboards forever.
Indeed.
But I would blame it on lockdown. You know,
Thank you.
it did stem from lockdown, and that's because we all found this need to be really comfortable at home. You know, we were cooped up in our homes, we still are spending a lot of time indoors.
Yes.
And from that, you know, these giant retail stores have taken a hold of that and sort of fed that need, continue to feed that need, turned it on its head, kicked it up a notch, literally gave us so many options, colors, styles, prints, and now it's become like, you know, part of our everyday lives and a very big part of our lives. So yeah, it's actually made a major comeback this decade.
Yes, indeed. And now the comeback is here. It is here to stay. But now let's tap into it, because I'm sure, you know, it's an everyday essential, but it doesn't have to be something so simple.
No.
It doesn't have to look sloppy. It doesn't look like you haven't made effort, which is very, very important.
No, people think like a sweatsuit frumpy.
Yeah, because you're thinking like, and you know, there's a lot of celebs also inspiring us as well. A lot of them that I see on like even a red carpet, and you're like, hold it, isn't that a tracksuit? You know, so with regard to this trend, updating it and just making it a bit more classy, you know, what are some of the things to do to kind of add, just to kind of make it a bit more
Just
zhuzh?
zhuzh it up a
That's
little
right,
bit.
that's the word. I love that word, by the way.
So there's just a couple of pieces on this rail that I want to
Cool.
point out. And obviously, the first place you'd start is wearing it as a set, right?
Correct.
But what I like to do is separate the two. It's what I like to call sort of deconstructing your sweatsuit. So taking your sweat top,
Yeah.
pairing it with like the latest in denim, knitwear. I mean, taking this, for example, maybe pairing it with a slouchy knit, adding a cool combat boot, you know, just like really elevating it to another level of not just chilling on your couch, adding a coat. It's all about layering. It's all about mixing
Yeah.
colors. There's also, you know, in the kids department, some really cute prints.
Yes.
So it's sort of taking the shell and the basic form of a tracksuit and elevating it to a whole other level. There's many ways that you can.
You know,
It is really versatile.
You know, I got some models though that I think it's quite important to bring them in because you
Always the
know models
best
are
way to
important
see,
for us
right?
to illustrate. So you know, this is a look for the entire family, and I mean for ages we put our kids into tracksuits and we're like, yes, you're dressed, that's all, which is cool. But let's bring in our first model, as we said, for the entire family. So please step in. This is a very popular model, by the way. Watch this space.
Okay, so this is
Check it out.
obviously super cute. Obviously, we spoke about the print. She's wearing a
Yes.
little rainbow print, paired with a bomber sort of puffer denim jacket. So that's also separating the two pieces. So this rainbow print obviously comes as a set. But then you pick up on the pink and the rainbow and you add a plain color. Also, the prints for kids really add more fun to their playtime.
Agreed.
So yeah, she looks
You
cute.
look so cool.
You look
Can
so
I just say that you look amazing? And also, as you said, deconstructing. This was a set, but you mixed and matched, and now you
Exactly.
look perfect. Thank you. Wow, I wish I could model just like that. You
Oh,
know?
why didn't you tell me?
You know, all of the things that she was wearing could fit me. Anyway, but let's bring in the next model over here. Oh, here we go.
Not a
Right,
stranger.
here we go.
Not a stranger to
Camera
the space.
loves this one. Camera can't stop on this one. Okay, so
Yes.
I love the fact that there's a coat attached to this look.
I mean, she looks badass.
Yes,
if you
she
ask me.
does.
I spoke about the combat boot earlier. It's a
Yeah.
really nice addition to the tracksuit. I mean, it's taking it from indoors to outdoors. Also layering it with your coat just modernizes it so much more. And also keeping sort of things a bit tonal also makes it a lot more modern. So yeah, she's obviously wearing a full set, but just layered with her coat, which is great.
Beautiful. All right. Well, we got another model as well. Jamie, you were fantastic, but let's bring in this man.
Oh, excuse
now,
me.
Check this out. So, the bomber.
The
boom,
bomber.
boom, boom. Talk me through this
The
one.
bomber. Oh, the bomber is, oh, gosh, a classic.
Yeah, I mean, it lasts forever.
It really does. So what's happening here
Like
is
Graham.
that Graham, so obviously, again, deconstructed his sweat, but paired it with denims, a cool sneaker, layered it with a long sleeve slub tee. It's all about layering. It makes it a lot more interesting when you do that. I think that another piece that men really do need to invest in, if they haven't yet, is the crew neck sweat. You can layer it with a turtleneck, you can layer it with a collared shirt underneath, pair it with chinos, you've got a whole new smart casual look going on.
Wow.
So yeah, he's ready for the day.
A classic look for a classic man. That's what it is
Totally.
right there. What a sensational individual. Taryn, you've taken us through sweats. You've taken loungewear to a different level. This is more about updating and everyday essentials, not looking sloppy. There's some really great items, and this is why it's fantastic. And you can shop all of this at Woolworths. You can shop online or on the app. So do that now and get your sweats on for the cooler months.
So Easter is just days away, but you don't have to wait for the long weekend to tuck into your favorite Easter treats, whether going on a vacation or having a staycation. Games gotcha. All right, we're going to have a little bit of fun. It's
like
going to be
fun.
a little bit of fun.
Let's do it.
All right, so you will see a bowl of beautiful marshmallow Easter eggs.
Oh, here we go.
And you can kind of divide the world into two halves, those that like the candy-coated white Easter eggs and those that like the marshmallow eggs. I hope you like the marshmallow eggs.
I do.
Okay, so this is how you really eat a marshmallow egg, all right? So
Okay.
we're going to have a little bit of a challenge here. You both got pretty big mouths. Okay.
Oh, I knew
in
it.
In fact, the three of us all have pretty big mouths, but we're going to see which one of you has the biggest. So you're going to start with one egg. You're going to place it in your mouth.
Yes.
And you're going to say the phrase, chubby bunny. Say it.
Okay, chubby bunny.
Chubby bunny.
Yes.
Nice. You sound perfect.
Thank you.
Then you're going to add another egg. And you're going to say what?
Chubby bunny.
Chubby bunny.
Yeah.
And you're going to add another egg, and we're going to see who can fit the most in and get the phrase out so that we can actually hear it. Are you up for the challenge?
Definitely.
Who do you think's going to win here?
I think Jamie's definitely
think
good.
Paul
Yeah,
is
Jamie's
Really?
definitely going to win.
Oh my
this
God.
Look at
one.
that mouth.
I mean,
Back
she
yourselves.
loves eating in the morning.
We're gonna find out definitively who has the biggest mouth on this show. All right, guys, pop an egg in and give me the phrase that pays.
Okay.
Oh, I just want to see what you're doing. Okay. Strategically placing it in.
So you can get this whole box if you want to play along. $64.99, not bad.
You want to say first?
Please, chubby.
Chubby bunny.
Chubby bunny, baby.
Chubby bunny.
You look like you've been in a box.
Adrian!
Adrian! All right, pop another egg in there, guys. Let's not rest on our laurels.
Chubby bunny.
Okay, I'll take it.
Sorry, what are you saying? I didn't hear you.
What was
Sorry, what?
Sorry, what? Sorry?
He's talking Portuguese.
Chubby
Who? They're talking Portuguese. Cristiano Ronaldo. Go! That's all I heard. What? Say here. Hey, can you worry? Say here. You see, do I win? I can do another one.
Of course, what she said. Okay.
Yeah.
No, we've got to go for a third now. I heard it. I heard chubby bunny, so we have to go for a third. Are you good? Don't swallow, okay? I like your chew technique there, okay?
Go.
Can I have it, the phrase?
Chubby bunny.
Nice. Have you put the third in there yet, or are you still...
Sylvia, come on.
Get that third
Come
Easter egg
on.
in there. Come on, there's no respite here.
Go for it, girlfriend.
The way you show us, don't bite it in half. Get the whole egg.
She can talk Portuguese again.
Uh-huh. And I'm going to listen as carefully as I can, because I believe in you, Jamie. I do. Suddenly... Now she's become Czechoslovakian. Now it's all different. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think we have a resounding win here. The chubby bunny himself. Congratulations, Mr. Carl Wasty. A big round of applause.
Chubby bunny! Chubby bunny!
You're just going to be walking around screaming that at people for the rest of the day. Chubby bunny!
That's it. Great Portuguese, eh?
How did he do that?
So what was your technique? How did you get the win there?
Well, the thing is, what you need to understand is that up against Jamie, she's a formidable opponent.
Of course she is, yeah.
So what I have to do is stuffing my face. I do that on the weekends quite often.
Ah.
So I tapped into that side of me, went very zen, watched her the way she wakes up, thought about the yoga, breathe in, breathe out, breathed in the chocolate, said the word, chubby bunny.
Chubby bunny. Wow, indeed. Absolutely amazing. Well, from putting them in the fridge to harden the chocolate shell, which is pretty cool, so it cracks when you bite into it, to microwaving your whole egg to melt it. We want you to tell us, how do you eat your favorite marshmallow Easter eggs and why? And you can visit our social media pages and leave a comment on our post with your answer. Maybe try the Chubby Bunny Challenge and post a video of that. Now, this Easter game is the #1 destination store for all of your Easter holiday purchases, with stores opening hours on Monday to Friday from 9 until 6, from Saturdays 9 till 5, and then on Sunday and public holidays from 9 until 4. Say it with me, guys. 1, 2, 3.
Chubby bunny!
Oh, you've earned another one. Have another one. Welcome back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. About to get even more feel good right now on a vitally important day for all of us. And I think while many progressive advancements have been made when it comes to the recognition, the support and the acceptance of transgender and gender diverse people in the world and here in South Africa, there is undoubtedly still a continued stigma and discrimination that the community faces when it comes to complete societal understanding of their journeys, and it is a journey. Today is International Transgender Day of Visibility, a day that is dedicated to celebrating the resilience, the victories, and the contributions of this community. And today on Expresso, we are opening an important dialogue about this with Executive Director of Gender Dynamics, Liberty Matesa. Liberty, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Look gorgeous, look TV ready, look ready for a vitally important day today. Maybe that's a good place to start. The International Transgender Day of Visibility. Why is this such an important day? Why are you here on this platform to talk?
Thank you, Graham, and thank you for having us on this show. Transgender Day of Visibility was started in 2009 with the aim, of course, of visibilizing the resilience and the narratives and stories of transgender and gender diverse persons, as you pointed out. I think it comes as consequence of the erasure and the invisibilization that we've suffered and were subjected to historically, where we've been completely erased from the history of this world. And so it's important to position our narratives to say that we are here, we've always been here, and it's important to tell the diverse narratives within the community, because there's not only one way of being trans or gender diverse, there are multiple ways in which we embody our journeys as individuals.
It speaks to humanity. There is not one way to be alive, there is not one way to live, and that is true across all manner of life as we know it. That's just the bottom line, and I'm so glad that you said that that's the way it's always been, because we forget too quickly. So days like this are vitally important. But you mentioned the word journey. I'm seeing before me a self-possessed, a very confident, a very powerful woman. What has it taken for you to get to this point?
It has been quite a daunting journey. I mean, living in a community, in a society where stigma, discrimination, hatred towards trans and gender diverse persons are rife. It takes quite a lot out of you to be able to excel and achieve your goals and objectives, where everything is counted against you as an individual. So I think for me it has really been a resilient heart, a resilient mind, but also the support of a community, the love of a family, the inclusion and the respect within faith-based communities, the church that I grew up in. It has taken mentorships from other people to be able to guide my way in getting to where I am today.
That isn't the case. And I want to say lucky, and I know that's a loaded statement to make, but you have had those people, you have had that community, you have had acceptance in areas where often there is not. How important has that been for you? And is that a unique story to you, or do you think the world is starting to shift when we think of the more traditional kind of thought-based, certainly within religion, certainly within communities? Are you feeling like that shift is starting to happen? Do you feel like that the narrative is starting to change?
I do think so. However, I don't think that it is happening fast enough. We are losing far too many trans and gender diverse persons due to suicide because of being marginalized. And at the same time, when we're looking at the South African context, we find that we do have laws in place to be able to protect our rights. The Constitution, for one, in the Equality Clause is very clear that non-discrimination shall not root itself within this context, and we need to do everything that we possibly can to ensure that that can be uprooted. We've got the Alteration of Sex Description and Sex Status Act that has been hard fought for and hard won by our elders and also allies at the time in 2003, that now allows us to be able to change our gender markers legally with the Department of Home Affairs, and that is an ongoing battle to get broader recognitions in the country. So we've made headway. There's been a lot of shifts, but still a lot of shifts still to come.
I'm glad that you said hard fought for, because it's come at great cost.
100%.
And it's often at the darkest times, under the greatest pressure, that we see the best in humanity. When you talk about this community, how proud are you of your community for what you've been able to achieve in light of the, I'm sure it must have seemed insurmountable challenges that you've faced?
I mean, I'm so proud to be part of the trans and gender diverse community because of the impact that stigma, discrimination, and violence has had, the fact that one can survive that and thrive despite that, and that is true for all of my siblings across this country, South Africa, but also globally, is testimony to the strength that we embody and what we can accomplish, not only as individuals, but when we unite our efforts to make positive change happen, not only for ourselves, but also for the broader society.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. A little bit later, we're going to be chatting to one of your peers, Grace Taylor, and on your screen right now is a number that you can call if you are battling. I know that we are talking about a very big idea right now, but this really does boil down to a very deeply rooted personal journey, and if you on that deep personal level are struggling with your identity and need someone to talk to, that is the number to call. There is a community waiting and ready to talk to you that know what it's like to go through this process, that know the challenges that you are facing, and they are there to support you.
So the world of drag isn't just all about glitter and makeup and phenomenal acrobatics, death drops, love those. Rather, it's an exclusive performance space where individuals are celebrated for being able to be their true and most fabulous selves. And as we commemorate International Transgender Day of Visibility today, we welcome a drag performer, Jade K. Johnson, on this morning to chat about her personal journey and her career as a performer. Jade, welcome.
Thank you.
How are you feeling?
I'm good, and you?
Yes, I'm good. Now, I actually saw a couple of the rehearsals for your performance later, and I'm very, very excited. You have no idea. It's great. But I want to look at your journey, and if I think about it, just starting off in your journey of drag, I mean, how old were you when things got started?
I started at the age of 16 with drag.
Yeah.
And from there, I found myself in the same time. What was the age? I think 17, 18, yes. I found myself, and yeah, so...
You found yourself in that sort of space, though. And I mean, so if I think about it, so, you know, when somebody gets into drag, I mean, there's so many great things, so many expressive things. What about those things were... I mean, obviously, come on now, you look amazing. So,
thank you.
I mean, I'm a bit jealous, but I'll get there. But if I think about you and that experience, you know, what about that whole experience said, this is my jam. This is me. This is who I am.
Okay. Me being me was very important for myself.
Okay.
Finding myself at that young age was very excited, and I got to learn a lot of things that I actually didn't know that exist.
Yeah.
So it's a long journey,
14 years of drag, eh?
Yeah.
I know. Don't worry, you're not old, okay? When I say 14 years, I mean, you're not old, it's okay. But I think most importantly, when it comes to finding oneself, it's not an easy task. I mean, there are people around you. Yes. There are school friends around you. There are people who want to have a way in when it comes to judgment. How did you handle those times where, as you were transitioning, people obviously had a lot to say? Yeah. How did you face that?
Well, for me, it was very easy.
Okay.
I didn't go through the judgmental situation, like you this, you that.
Yeah.
And there was just a lot of support from friends and family. So, yeah, for me, it was easy.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy.
And that is such a great thing. I know that sometimes, you know, you get people who have struggled within that space, but I'm happy it's easy. And obviously you had a 14-year career. You're not old, don't worry. But what are the highlights that you could point out over that 14-year career of drag?
In drag, I've been in the show called Ab Fab.
Ooh.
Absolutely fabulous.
Yes.
That's a full name.
Okay.
Directed by Basil. I was on the music video with Manila Von Teese and Maxine Wild with the Cuteness.
Yes, another one.
So yeah, that was my highlight in the drag.
And still more to come. More highlights, eh? Yes! Now, when it comes to a lot of people who will be sitting there thinking, you know, this is me. I'm looking at Jade right now, and there's something about her that resonates with me. However, I'm a bit scared. I'm a bit apprehensive. You know, I don't have a platform to say, like, that's who I am. You know, get me out of here. Yes. I want to be who I am. What type of advice would you give those individuals who are struggling at the moment?
I would say, put yourself first.
Yeah.
Do you. And don't worry about the judgment and all that. Yes, that comes with the package. But just do you and be lekker.
Be liquor is the best advice I have ever heard in my entire life. Jade, you are liquor, don't forget.
Thank you.
We've got some show-stopping performances from this liquor, Jade Johnson. And of course, headed your way throughout this morning, so be sure to keep it locked to your feel-good breakfast show.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. I think you can see I'm excited because I love engaging in this kind of conversation because it's opening my eyes as we go. We are continuing our dialogue around International Transgender Day of Visibility. And we are back on the couch with the Executive Director of Gender Dynamics, Liberty Mutesa, and this time alongside Grayson Teller from Inclusive and Affirming Ministries to learn more about the events and the initiatives that Gender Dynamics are putting together and participating in an opportunity for you maybe to find your community. And I'm going to keep using that word because there is a very strong and powerful community. I know you're nervous. Don't be nervous. It's not like the hopes and dreams of the world are resting on your shoulders right now. No, thank you so much for coming out and chatting to us. We've spoken about your personal journey, but I want to talk about your professional journey because you've taken what you want to achieve into a very constructive space with Gender Dynamics. So talk us through your role as the Executive Director of Gender Dynamics and what do you guys do?
So Gender Dynamics is a trans-led and trans-specific human rights organization. And the reason why we are trans-led is because we draw on our experiences as leaders to be able to guide the strategic direction of the organization and the programming that we come up with. So a lot of the work involves championing legal gender recognition, championing access to gender-affirming healthcare, and of course inclusive quality education for children, transgender children especially, to counter bullying within education location context. And then, of course, being able to take access to gender-affirming healthcare closer to communities, because at the moment there is a geographical disconnect, location disconnect, where rural-based communities, peri-urban-based communities are not able to access that level of care because it is situated within urban contexts.
It's almost like you're fighting this battle on three fronts, and there is the deeply personal journey that you're going on. There is the legislative, where you need society as a whole, the laws that guide us to be able to march along, but you also need then people to change the way that they think. And that is a very difficult thing. That's where it needs to be proven through your actions. And I think that's where you step in, Grace. And I want you to talk us through one of the initiatives that you're running with Gender Dynamics, the Wall of Resilience. That's a word that Liberty has mentioned many times, resilience. You need to be able to be strong to survive this journey. Talk us through this initiative.
I think the word resilience really speaks for itself. You know, as vulnerable communities, particularly trans and gender diverse, we've always found ourselves on the back foot of quite a number of things, systematically, politically, socially. So it requires resilience for you to keep on keeping on, because it's a tough journey. Not only are you fighting legal, law reform, but also some of the foundations that manifest, or rather transphobia and homophobia manifest from. And the Wall of Resilience, basically, it's about stories of trans and gender diverse persons, how they verbalize their lived experiences, and they actualize themselves. Because for a very long time, we've always had people speaking for us and assuming that this is what we want and this is who we are.
And it's great to have an advocate, but
exactly.
You need to believe it.
Exactly. You need to verbalize it so people can actually see the steps that you take within this particular journey of affirming yourself, whether it be through gender-affirming healthcare or legally.
How important is it for someone going through that process, that journey themselves? And I keep using the word process because there is such a transformation in that space. How important is it to hear other people saying it, to know that someone else has gone through that journey with you?
It's quite unfortunate that voices multiply when it comes to injustices.
Yeah.
But I think what's very important is that we've, as a collective, realized that there's more that needs to be done. We need to fight for our existence within society. We quite often talk about cisgender privilege, and that's privilege that people who align themselves with the sex assigned at birth have. And unfortunately for trans and gender diverse persons, that puts us on the back end within society. So we're in it together, but it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah, no, completely. And I mean, we've gone through that with, and this coming from a white guy, going through the Black Lives Matter process, trying to get a person to understand what's really at the heart of a discussion like that. And of course, you're quick to jump to a generalization, but it is a deeply personal understanding of self that you've got to go through to get to that point. And maybe this is an opportunity for people to be able to connect and identify with people who have gone through that. So how do people submit their stories to the Wall of Resilience to have their voice heard?
So with regards to that, we've got an email address that we would like to share with the viewers, which is community@genderdynamics.org.
Got that on screen right now, yeah.
.za. And so if you are keen on sharing your journey, your narrative, please get in contact with us through that channel. Alternatively, if you want to know more about the organization, please do send an email or go to our website at info@genderdynamics.org.za as well.
Just very quickly, while I've got you here, Grace, and someone who lives this space, what advice do you have for someone who is struggling at that darkest hour? If you could take yourself back to that moment that almost broke you, what do you want to say to them?
Look, it's a journey. You know, no one can impose their own journey on you. So you should take it easy, take your time. Because gender and sexuality are on a constant continuum. You know, today you might affirm as something else, tomorrow you might affirm as somebody else. So you need to take yourself and immerse yourself in the journey and love the process, because you're affirming who you are, who you truly are, and not what the world has told you you are. So you embrace the journey, and sometimes it can affect one's mental health. It can affect quite a number of vulnerabilities within your life and within your own body. But like Liberty said, you need to seek help. You're not alone. There are multiple organizations that deal with mental health that assist you in that journey. And of course, the advocacy that various organizations do, including I Am, as well as Gender Dynamics, assist people in that process. Sometimes it might just be something as giving a pat on the back, that it's okay, you know.
It is okay. You are okay. Guys, thank you so much for coming out. You did great today, man. I don't know why you were nervous. You were awesome. And it's great to have advocates and platforms like this talking about it, but maybe now is the time for you to take ownership of that. That is the human narrative. Find the person that you are. You can connect admin@genderdynamics.oeg.za. And for the Wall of Resilience, if you want to have your voice heard, you can email community@genderdynamics.org.za. Thanking you both so much for coming through today. What a pleasure to chat to you today. And right now, though, of course, we are heading into the top of the hour, so time to get those news headlines in.
Thanks a lot, Graham. A very, very informative discussion and very necessary as well. But talking about information, let's chat about the news from around the world. And starting off with the Automobile Association says it expects a further hefty hike in fuel prices in April. The additional 27 cents added to the general fuel levy and road accident fund levies announced by Finance Minister Tito Mboweni in Feb come into effect in April and will add costs to every litre of fuel purchased, in addition to the increased monthly adjustment. Petrol is set for an increase of 73 cents a litre, diesel for an increase of 39 cents, and illuminating paraffin for an increase of 37 cents. Staying in South Africa, President Cyril Ramaphosa has kept South Africa on lockdown level 1 ahead of the Easter weekend, albeit a few changes pertaining to liquor sales and religious gatherings, and with curfew remaining in place. In his address to the nation last night, Ramaphosa announced that off-site liquor sales would be banned from Good Friday until Monday for 4 days. However, on-site sales of liquor remain permitted. He also announced that religious gatherings would be restricted to 250 people indoors and 500 outdoors, which is a significant increase on previous capacity restrictions. Moving abroad, the head of the World Health Organization, the WHO, says further investigation is needed to conclusively rule out a theory that COVID-19 emerged from a laboratory in China. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said yesterday more extensive research was needed. The virus was first detected in Wuhan in China's Hubei province in late 2019. The Chinese government has dismissed the allegations of a virus leak. Since the novel coronavirus was first identified, some 2.7 million people are known to have succumbed, with more than 127 million cases worldwide. Portugal will dispatch soldiers to Mozambique in the first half of April to train local troops following an attack by Islamist insurgents on the town of Palma. A bilateral agreement is being finalized calling for 60 Portuguese Special Forces troops to be sent to the country. On the 24th of March, heavily armed rebel forces began attacking Palma in the province of Cabo Delgado in Mozambique, killing dozens of people, including a South African. Palma is home to French energy group Total and is a logistics hub for international gas projects worth about 900 billion rand. And now for news of yet another historic first for South Africa. South African wines have excelled at one of the most celebrated competitions with Sauvignon Blanc in the world. Tokara's Reserve Collection Sauvignon Blanc 2020 has made history by being awarded the Dubadieu Trophy for the best competing Sauvignon Blanc at the 12th Concours Mondial Sauvignon in Brussels, Belgium. It was the first in the history of this prestigious competition that a South African wine had bagged the title. South Africa also won 11 gold and 9 silver medals. RJ Botha, chairperson of Sauvignon Blanc SA, said South Africa was now truly becoming a major player in Sauvignon Blanc in the world. He congratulated Tokara on an exceptional achievement and all the other participants who excelled and proudly flew the South African flag high on this international stage. He said it was years of hard work that was now beginning to bear fruit. More than 1,200 wines were tasted by an acclaimed panel of judges over 4 days, with only one aim in mind: to select wines of irreproachable quality. Truly news for some serious chest-thumping. Well done, folks. Our wines are lekker. That's a wrap of your news. Over to sport. Here's Graham.
Well, reigning supreme in the world of sport as well. Let's kick it off with netball. Table-topping South Africa made easy work of neighbours Namibia in a 59-26 win, making it now 3 out of 3 against the side. The Proteas could go undefeated for the entire tournament should they win their final game up against their strongest opposition in the tournament, Uganda, later today, and be awarded the Tri-Nations Trophy for the very impressive efforts. Then a close encounter in the rematch between the baby Proteas and the President's 12 saw the President's 12 win by a small small margin, just 2 goals in a 36-38 thriller. So the final games of the series will get underway at 2 p.m. today as Namibia now play the President's 12, while South Africa will take on Uganda at 4 p.m., followed by the awards ceremony. Then boding well in an Olympic year, we turn to athletics. An explosive 200 meters at the ASA Invitational meet in Rudaport yesterday saw Olympic champion Wade van Niekerk clock an impressive 20.1 seconds to win ahead of Akari Simbine, who is fresh from running the fastest 100 meters of 2021 last weekend in Pretoria. And this proved a much-needed boost for the South African van Niekerk ahead of his move to now train in the United States as he prepares for the Tokyo Olympics later this year. And we've been savouring all the international football on offer. On the continent, Nigeria ended their AFCON qualifying campaign with a solid 3-0 win over Lesotho, while Guinea-Bissau, they booked their place in the finals after defeating Congo, also by a 3-0 margin. They finished second in Group I behind Senegal. Elsewhere, Senegal played to a 1-1 draw against Eswatini after coming from behind, goal down after half-time. Now, shifting across to Europe, Portugal came from 1-0 down to win against Luxembourg with goals from Diogo Jota, Cristiano Ronaldo and João Palhinha, and they sealed a 3-1 win in the process. Jota scoring the equaliser for the current European champions as that forward continues his impressive form for club and country, having been involved in 8 goals in 5 starts for Portugal this season. Incredible. Some other results from the night saw the Netherlands put 7 past Gibraltar, while Belgium were also on fire, scoring 8 against Belarusian. Both thumping wins. And that's where we leave our sporting headlines for this hour. Let's take another look at some of your beautiful sunrise pictures.
I love sunrise pictures, and thank you to all of our viewers that have taken the time to share how they start their morning. I'm going to start with you. Anika Kaiser from George shared this beautiful image of the sun rising in the distance. George has a 25% chance of rain and will reach a maximum of 24 degrees Celsius. Kosana Peterson, we see you from the Mother City, sent through the stunning golden image of the skyline from this area. Cape Town can expect periods of sun and rain today with a mild maximum of 20 degrees Celsius. Please do continue to share your sunrise photos with us on the Expresso Facebook page. We really love seeing your part of the country. Now, we love incorporating all of our local viewers, but as well as our international viewers who tune in via YouTube and the Africa channel. And for your 7 a.m. update, we are bringing you the weather update from Keystone, South Dakota. Now, Keystone is a town in the Black Hills region of Pennington County, South Dakota. It had its origins in 1883 as a mining town and has since transformed itself into a resort town, serving the needs of the millions of visitors to the Mount Rushmore National Memorial, located just beyond the city limits. Today, you will start off at a very cold -7 degrees Celsius and peak at just 4 degrees Celsius with plenty of sunshine throughout the day. Now, staying in that area, 2 wildfires in the Black Hills of South Dakota in the U.S. have forced evacuations of some 500 homes northwest of Rapid City and shut down one of the most important historic sites in America, Mount Rushmore National Memorial. The site is the massive 27-meter high sculpture granite faces depicting U.S. presidents George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, as well as Abraham Lincoln, with noses longer than 6 meters and mouths about 5 meters wide. The site also features a museum with interactive exhibits. The fire has already scorched some 2,000 acres in the vicinity and forced 500 residents to evacuate their homes. Officials say the wind-driven blaze that started on Monday morning has already destroyed several homes and outbuildings. The National Weather Service in Rapid City yesterday said good news is that the strong wind fueling the fire should be down to 24 kilometers per hour in the Black Hills today, and that the fire should not pose a threat to Mount Rushmore. That's it for the weather news. Let's get on to the actual weather, the temperatures from around the country, and starting off in Polokwane. Let's go there. 14 to 26 for you today, 25% chance of precipitation in your area. Bombela, good morning to you, 18 to 32 degrees Celsius. Pretoria, 15 to 26 for you. Johannesburg, 13 to 24. Let's move over to Mahikeng, 13 to 27 degrees. Klerksdorp, 29 is your high. That's from a low of 14. Kimberley, 17 is your low this morning. That is to a high of 28 degrees Celsius. Bloemfontein looking beautiful, 13 to 26, partly cloudy. Richards Bay, 21 to 33. Please add the sunscreen as well as the hydration. Pietermaritzburg, 16 to 33 for you as well. Same applies. Durban, 20 to 30. Umtata, 12 to 33 for you. East London, 70 to 25. A 25% chance of rain in Craddock. 33 the high from a low of 11. Gqeberha, 16 to 23. George, 14 to 24. The Mother City, that that goes to a high of 20 from a low of 15 this morning. Worcester, 13 to 27. Sutherland, a low of 7 to a high of 23. And wrapping up with Uppington, 19 to a maximum of 33 degrees Celsius. As always, an open invitation. If you've got a good sunrise picture from your area, please post it on the Expresso Facebook page.
It's also International Transgender Day of Visibility, and we're standing with our family in the transgender and gender diverse community today by celebrating their victories and also raising awareness to their challenges. And we've got formidable drag performer Jade K. Johnson in studio to help us commemorate this important day with flair. And let me just say, you better work, mama.
Put your hands up.
You better work. You better work, everybody. She still has one more performance coming up on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, so don't get everywhere. Hey, 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 hey. Mama, you can make my day.
Yes, welcome back to Feel Good Breakfast Show Expresso on SABC3, and today is the International Transgender Day of Visibility. And as you know, when it comes to visibility, trans films have been out there for ages, and that's why we brought in JP Sebastian, the man that knows everything about movies, to ensure that I said it, and it's the truth, I did mean it, because you know what? There have been so many great trans representations in film for the longest time, and I want to track through a couple of them as we celebrate today.
Yeah.
Perhaps if you haven't seen one of these movies, then this gives you an opportunity to go and check it out. And the first one is called A Fantastic Woman, which is an Oscar winner.
Yeah, it was a movie from Chile. It won Best Foreign Film Against the Square back in 2017. So goodness gracious, that's really good. And it is a fantastic movie. It's the story of a transgender woman who just recently, like at the start of the movie, has her romantic partner, her boyfriend, die. And this should be a really mournful time for a person to have someone suddenly, you know, pass this way. But she has to struggle through these barriers of whether it's these small sort of violences like using a person's dead name with them, which is, you know, the name that they might have been given at birth rather than their chosen name. The violence is all the way up to, you know, confronting someone in uniform. The entire thing for, you know, anyone like, you know, myself, a cis straight person or whatever, just makes your skin crawl if you're like, have I ever been that ugly? Have I ever been that sort of horrid to another human being? Yeah. And it's Daniela Vega who plays the leading role there, who is a transgender woman herself. And just the tension that she creates, restraining, bottling this whole time, not necessarily for, you know, oh, I want to be free and, you know, spread my wings or whatever. A lot of it's like just a matter of survival. Biting your tongue, holding back when people are calling you a perverse aberration of nature. So it's beautifully filmed, it's gorgeously filmed and fantastically acted. It's really, I think that not just, you know, for cis people or whatever you want to call anyone, but also for our trans viewers, it might be the kind of thing where you go, that is the feeling. Yeah. That is exactly what it is like. And I hope that you, as, you know, whether transphobes or anything like that, or TERFs or anything like that, see yourself as this horrid thing to a person who really just wants to be themselves in their own skin.
Beautiful, and I love the fact that movies can be relatable, they can be reflective as well, and they can capture an emotion that often you may be feeling. Over to the next one is a movie that I believe that was somewhat of a gateway to drag for me, to Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar. It was that first experience of actors that you knew so well now dressing up in drag for a movie. And I saw the poster, because I was 9 years old at the time, I couldn't watch it. So looking at the poster, I was thinking, like, this looks so interesting, because, I mean, these guys, I know them from other movie roles, and now they're in drag.
Yeah, Wesley Snipes, I don't know, is skydiving into Washington, D.C.
That's the one.
Murder at 1600.
Yes.
So these dudes who were like, you know, cliche tough dudes, macho dudes, doing B-grade, really toxic masculinity type films. Yeah. You know, pounding this idea that this is what a man does. Really great of them to be, as they were in the making of this movie, so desperate to come on board with this. In fact, it was Mel Gibson who wanted to be at the front, which these days I don't know if I would have liked to have seen. Tom Cruise even, which would have been interesting too. But like you said, these dudes who we grew up with in B-grade action, who took it with both hands to play what is, and this is a contentious movie for this reason. These are drag queens, and the thing is, drag, you can be gay, you can be straight, you can be queer, you can be non-binary, you can be transgender. Yes. So they never once throughout this movie, and this is just interesting for the time that it was made, 1995, just to see how the conversation has changed. That almost this movie in a way is a movie in the closet. Yeah. So John Leguizamo, who's also fantastic, plays Chichi Rodriguez, who at the 25th anniversary of To Wong Fu said Chichi is transgender. Yes. In his making of the character, in his development of the character, and he feels like if there was ever a remake of this movie, it needs to be played by a Latinx transgender woman. So it's interesting to see, like I said, how the conversation has changed, what level of courage we've gained to talk about these things openly. Rather than, you know, for example, having cis men playing transgender women, which would be problematic these days, we need to be employing more transgender people in Hollywood. Absolutely. It's also just interesting as like a litmus test of, okay, where are we in 2021 compared to 1995? But it's a cult classic and it's beloved by the community.
So To Wong Fu, that one done and dusted. Over to the next one, Tangerine, 2015. Let's go into that one.
Excellent, awesome movie. So it's, and there are all sorts of dimensions. Like, so while To Wong Wong Fu is great because it's, you know, just it's lovable fun and whatever.
Yeah.
This is just raw and rough around the edges. It is a reality for a lot of, especially trans women of color, who are sex workers, a lot of them. And Center's two sex workers who immediately, Cinderella, who you've seen there, the one character, grabs her friend Alexandra and finds out that, okay, while I was in prison, because prison is an unfortunate, horrible, actually, unfortunate sounds like it's just a roll of the dice, persecutory reality for trans women of color especially, comes out of prison and finds that her pimp/boyfriend has been cheating on her, goes on a warpath, and her friend's begging her, please don't do drama, don't get into drama. It's so like none of the sort of cliches that you might lump onto, oh, this is what a sex worker is like, oh, this is what a trans person is like, or whatever. It's actually quite raw and allows these actresses who are transgender actresses to tell a lot of the story themselves. Hilarious and equally tender and heartbreaking itself. That was 2015, and definitely one you should grab no matter what walk of life you're from. Tangerine was lots of fun.
And I think it's important on this type of date is to celebrate and go check those movies out. So you've got a couple of them. You've got the likes of The Fantastic Woman, you've got To Wong Fu, and then you've got Tangerine as well. So go check those out. We're going to have some more trans in cinema movies for you with JP a tad later, right here on Expresso, your feel-good breakfast show.
Simplicity is key when it comes to whipping up our classic berries frozen bark. It's quite zhuzh. It's a little bougie, in fact, and the perfect snack for movies after a braai this Easter weekend. Not that you have to braai, but should you be finding yourself braaiing, this is how you round it all off. Emily Domberg.
A dessert.
This is quite
on a
cool.
whole other
Yeah,
level. It is bougie.
Yeah, this is bougie, eh?
Definitely
So, and this one you can take complete ownership of it and make like it's your own creation. We don't mind.
Absolutely.
We don't mind.
Absolutely not. Thank you so much for the Kitchen Fairies for preparing everything.
Oh, yeah, we needed a bit of help today, yeah.
Definitely. So we're going to start off with our nuts. You can use any nuts, of course, mixed nuts. Pistachios would also work.
I think the saltiness of a pistachio would be quite nice. Yeah,
really, I can smell that nutty flavor, so that's perfect. And then what we're going to use is some nut butter. We have peanut butter over here, but again, you can go crazy with whatever nut butter you want to.
I'm such a fan of almond butter in my smoothies and pretty much everything, actually, at the moment. Absolutely love it. You can also get like salt and sugar-free peanut butter, so you know it doesn't have to be an overly indulgent. It can actually be quite nutritious, lots of good healthy fats in there, and quite a challenge mixing together with.
I should have let you down this. I should have let you down this.
Yeah, I know, we actually drew straws for this one. But you can get stuck in with your fingers if you feel the need.
If you want to, but I'm sure this is going to be...
She's trying to maintain
I'm trying to still
the nails, some decorum.
Definitely, but this is going to obviously serve as your base. And again, if you want to put it in the food processor, perfect.
Yeah,
it will
just as easy, yeah.
Get it nice and fine. But if you want to keep that crunch and the texture to it, then I would recommend not putting it into the blender. So let's just...
Yeah, and it's fine to have different kind of, you know, consistencies there. This is ultimately for the crunch and for the beautiful nutty flavor. That's going to be a wonderful counterbalance for our berries. And this is berries on a whole different level. We are talking about the new 6-pack Clover Classic berries, now available in blackberry and cream, raspberry and cream, and blueberry and cream. I stress the cream because it's super creamy. So I'm going to be combining a few different flavors here.
I was going to tell you that. I was like, let's combine. Let's just be a rebel in the kitchen. And
how many berries? Every berry. So I am mixing to our already, I think we've got every 6 flavor variant here represented, but I've got the blackberry and cream flavor, which I'm going to pop in there as well. The colors are just so delicious and wonderful. Are you winning there?
Yeah,
you actually are. Well done. No, that's pretty good. Yeah.
It takes a bit of time, but eventually it will...
time and love.
Time and love.
Time and love.
And that's exactly what we need for this Easter weekend, just some time and
now I'm going to go again with some more blackberry here.
And the color. Okay, so that's going... I'm going to put this into my tray.
Okay.
And again, it's going to form the base. So you want to spread it out evenly.
I'm just saving a little bit just to do the taste test. Oh, that's yummy. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm going to put a proviso. I'm going to put an annexure A in this recipe. Just be careful that you don't eat too much of the yogurt before you have created your bark. Oh, that's yummy.
Okay, so
that's yummy for days. Okay.
It gets very sticky, but there we go.
Okay, and obviously this is where you really do need a sheet of baking paper in there to help you get this guy out once your bark has been created.
And it's going to set nicely once you put it in the freezer. Okay. So you are going to hand me
the yogurt.
The yogurt, and that we're going to pour
Can I
over.
give it a swirl? I'm going to just
go for it.
I don't want it to be
Mixing it
completely
together.
mixed. I just want one kind of beautiful swirl.
Just that color
There
as
we
well.
go.
So
That
we'll
is
put
yours.
that in. And that goes nice on top.
Oh, yummy.
Look at that. Look at that. And then I'm going to ask you, G, as well, if you can cut some of those beautiful fruits. Then again, you can play around with the fruits. Of course, we have chosen to go with some fresh berries.
Yeah, you want to echo the berries, definitely. I'm going to just go, actually.
Looks like a unicorn tart.
I know, that's what I was going to say. There's something fantastical about it, hey?
Definitely. Okay, so that goes in. We'll add some good sources of vitamins.
You probably don't even need to chop the berries if you don't want to, but this will just give you more from less, I suppose.
And then, I mean, Easter weekend or an Easter treat with chocolate. So that's also going to go in there, and you can just
Ooh, is
drizzle
that white chocolate?
White chocolate. So
Get out of here.
Mine
Get out of here.
has melted. You want to
And this is what I love about this is you've got the textural elements, so you're going to have that beautiful crunch, but you've got like the acidity balanced with the sweet, balanced with the creaminess, and that is the key when we create in this kitchen. It's all about balance.
And then this.
Oh, and there are really good berries available, and you want to use these summer months while the berries are available, like use the last of the season.
So again, you can pop this into the freezer for about 2 hours. Just get it nice and frozen. If you want to, you can add the fruit on afterwards, or you can put it in the freezer to get it nice and chunky as well. But once you're done with that, please do.
Wonderful.
Okay, that's me.
Yeah, there we go.
Just pop that
beautiful.
in.
Well, we put the finishing touches to this work of art, our unicorn-inspired berry bark. Here's a little blow-by-blow of how we arrive at our unbelievably gorgeous final product there.
This looks stunning.
That's so beautiful, eh?
Made with love by Clover.
So, we've had classic fashion from Timby, classic cars, thanks Chad, and we've seen classic hairstyles. And you, Michael? Classic.
A classic range from Clover. Timeless taste. Made with love by Clover.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked as we continue a discussion that has been enriching and informative and is vital. Now, we are next going to introduce you to a wonderful human being. Gabe Gabriel is an actor, a writer, and a director, and all of that at only the age of 1.5 years old. Or at least that is how long Gabe has been on testosterone, otherwise referred to as T, and he joins us now for our Transgender Day of Visibility discussion to talk us through his journey to becoming the man that he is today and his experience as a member of the transgender community. I got a little chuckle from you at least. I made it funny. I made it funny. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Take us right to the beginning, a year and a half ago, becoming into your own, becoming the man that you are today. How does it feel to finally become the person that you are?
It feels amazing. I could never have known how good it would feel, but as I got closer to the moment where I started testosterone, I was getting more and more anxious because I was feeling so far away from myself. So to now be on that journey, I'm still blown away. Every week I inject myself with depot testosterone in my stomach, and it is, I feel so overwhelmed with gratitude each time, and it feels good. It feels really, really good.
What a path for you to walk on your own, yes, but you're not alone. You have a family around you, you have a community around you. How did your family adapt, and have they adapted to the journey that you're on, in fact?
They have. I think it was difficult, especially for my parents at first, because as parents, you want your kids to be safe, and everyone knows that being transgender and being visibly transgender or out as transgender socially, you can be put in a lot of dangerous or unsafe situations. So my parents saw that, and they also saw a lot of representation in the media and in the news about how tough it is to be trans, and I think they just wanted to protect me from that, and they really wanted to make sure I was sure. Of course, with all trans people, if we're saying we're trans, trust, we have thought about it a lot. No one's trying to just say it for fun. So they've really done a lot of work to come around since then, and they, you know, a lot of trans people get kicked out of their homes or get into a lot more trouble than I did. They asked the tough questions and they had a tough time, but they're doing the work to...
How did you broach that conversation?
With my partner, Lauren, who's here. I absolutely...
Lauren.
I needed some help, and I had Lauren and another friend, and actually a close group of sort of my community of friends hold my hand through it, and Lauren sat down with me and my parents, and I just told them... I first told them my pronouns and my name that I had chosen for myself, and then I told them I wanted to start depot testosterone as the first of many possible ways that you can affirm your gender. And basically tried to debunk the myths that they immediately brought up and tell them I'm still the same person, just changing the outside to match the inside better.
That's who you really are.
And I'm sure you had to be very honest with them, also with yourself. But what I love, and you mentioned your partner, is that you guys have a series on social media where you're actually welcoming your followers into the space, which is tough because you have to be real, you have to be, you know, just authentic with your experience. Why do you think it was so important for you to take everyone along on this journey with you?
Yeah, well, the first reason, the most important reason to me is that many years ago, I saw someone named Chelaman, who's a deaf artist and activist who's also trans from the States. He did his depot testosterone injection live on his Instagram one day. I had never seen it. I didn't really know what it entailed, and I didn't really have the language for it. And he just was that representation that I needed to go, ooh, maybe that'll be me someday. And then I guess as I would always try and tune in for it, and when I would see it, I would think, if I ever had the guts to do this, I better pay it forward. So that's my main reason. The other reason is that a lot of cis people come on and listen, and they, I hope, are then given the tools to better look after the trans people around them.
Because it's not just about being educated and understanding, it's knowing what and how to be proactive in that space.
Exactly.
As an actor, there must be a certain joy when you see yourself performing. How has that changed? versus looking at yourself on screen then and looking on yourself now as the person that you are?
Well, I had to stop acting to sort of get real with myself about what I knew I needed deep down inside, because our industry is still so gendered and there's still so much focus on if you are a woman being a leading lady and what's going to be castable, and even if you cut your hair, it's a whole issue. And your agents, you have to check with them. So I just stopped acting completely, and I love acting, so that was tough, but I knew I had to in order to really get real with who I am. And then I started hormones and I came out, and I'm only now feeling really ready and excited to start acting again from this place, because I'm not spending 90% of my energy performing a gender. I can use all that energy now to work on the acting. Yeah, exactly. So I'm excited to perform from this place. When I watch old footage of me acting, it's with some sadness, but also some humor, and I just sort of look at it and go like, wow, look how far I came. It's really, I'm grateful when I see that, but I'm excited to get some footage from now.
And look, you're going to have a whole different bag of tricks when it comes to performing as well.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I think you've got an unfair advantage over a lot of actors out there.
I'll take it.
You look so happy and comfortable in your skin, man, which is, I think every human being is striving to find that place of self-acceptance. So congratulations.
Thank you.
On getting to that point, and thank you so much for being proud enough to share this journey in your social media space, but also coming onto a platform like this and hopefully this isn't a singular day every year, but often, you know, what we like to see as a platform every day for people to be able to
More is
embrace.
better. So thank you for spotlighting it as well. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely love it. Thank you so much for joining us.
Of course, thank you.
So a little earlier, we chatted about a trans representation in cinema. We gave you 3 fantastic movies, A Fantastic Woman, To Wong Fu and Tangerine. We're over to another 2 movies that you're going to love. And the first one is from 2017. JP Sebastian, over to you, my friend. The first one is The Death and Life of Marsha P. Johnson.
Cinema is an empathy machine, so you know, expand that empathy gland of yours, get to know those around you, and trans people get to know yourselves, maybe by seeing journeys of others. Now, The Death and Life of Marsha P. Johnson was sort of a controversial movie for a time, because there was contention by Raina Gossett, who's a trans woman of color, who's another director, who said this movie was way too similar to hers, but it seems like there's quite a difference between Happy Birthday Marsha and The Death and Life of Marsha P. Johnson. So this one you can find on a famous streaming platform. The story follows then what happened to Marsha P. Johnson. P, by the way, is the middle name that Marsha gave herself, which is short for Pay It No Mind. If ever you receive any hate, if ever anyone tries to, you know, screw around with your pronouns or anything like that, you used to say, pay it no mind. Was kind of a holy woman in her community. There she is, just a powerful, courageous person who used to fight for, and back then the word, while the word, I think, was coined by a psychiatrist in 1966, really only now that we started to use the word in, you know, the mainstream. But within the community itself, even during the 90s, it wasn't necessarily clear to a person. Sylvia Rivera, by the way, who is also a mighty and powerful freedom fighter, Andy Worrell, who she was amused to, Marsha P. Johnson. Anyway, just referring to the footage that you're seeing right now. So it was quite a fluid person. Wasn't, you know, totally clear about this is what I am and this is what you should call me or whatever. Was quite sort of, I suppose, liberal about how she floats around. There's a possibility that what police ruled as a suicide, as a simple drowning, was a murder. And you know, you can't have the good without the bad. We need to talk about the fact that persecuted. There's one point, for example, in this documentary where paging through a photo book, a trans woman is going, oh, that's my old friend, she was murdered. Oh, she was murdered as well. A murder there. Sort of like a soldier looking at like past friends. This is the frequency, the prevalence with which lives are thrown away. Human lives. And just treated as, oh, well, got themselves into the kind of trouble you would expect. But so this is a great entry point kind of documentary. It's not necessarily as in-depth as it could be. You could search Marsha P. Johnson, Pay It No Mind on YouTube and find a free documentary there that's a lot more in-depth. But as an entry point, this is fantastic to see the kind of community that rallied around her. A veteran of the Stonewall riots, which was virtually the start of the modern gay liberation movement, and then, like I said, an activist for transgender rights. The Death and Life of Marsha P. Johnson, like I said, great start, and also just an introduction to freedom fighters and activists from old, the elders who started this courageous, triumphant march.
Absolutely incredible. And you know, this is the International Transgender Day of Visibility, and movies like this are so important for information. And of course, just to open your eyes just a little bit to what is out there. And you know, in terms of the narrative that you just mentioned, it seems like back then it was an invisible war that people were fighting at that particular time. But
what this documentary does very well is to show, like, you know, parallels and does these jump cuts and juxtapositions between the time then and the time now, and you find that the violence has not actually changed in a way that is appreciable. And that every year thousands of people are killed because of the way they walk, the way they look, or because they felt tricked or something like that. There's something even called trans-panic defense in some states in the United States, where you can get off from murder by saying, oh, I panicked. So, hey, 2021, there's a lot to learn, and the death and life of Marsha P. Johnson is maybe a good start for those kinds of conversations.
More movies. In fact, we go to the Paris is Burning. This is from 1990.
A masterpiece, Paris is Burning. Seriously, you owe it to yourselves to watch this fantastic documentary that shockingly wasn't even nominated for an Oscar. So as well as transgender people, their names like Venus Extravaganza, who has a tragic story within the documentary itself, but also just, it's not all tragedy. This is such a multifaceted documentary. There's Venus Extravaganza, by the way, the blonde lady. Just fabulous to watch. That's a ball, by the way, that is this annual ball where gay men, drag queens, queer people, the whole gamut of the community come together and do these pageants, which are almost in a way parodies of what we think normal. Oh my goodness, voguing, Willy Ninja.
Oh yes.
That's where voguing started and Madonna borrowed from. Another important thing about Paris is Burning is the appropriation of transgender culture for the you know, it was sort of like exploited by a lot of the pop music that we love now, and the pop culture we love now everything that they have to the transgender culture that was created. But I have very little more time to talk about this, and it's so rich to talk about because it covers class, it covers race, it covers gender, of course, it covers poverty, it covers inequality, and these conversations are still so fresh now, and even just for within the community itself of transgender, is that it covers, you know, how do you respect your elders and what their efforts were, but also how do you keep one foot in the future? How is the conversation constantly changing? Paris is Burning is amazing for that, but I want to show you a clip from it as well, because the message is this simple. How do humans want to just be themselves and be somebody? Here's Octavia St. Laurent talking about her dream to just be accepted as a citizen of the United States of America.
I think if I could just be on TV or film or anything, I'd do that instead of the money. Of course, I do want the money because I want the luxury that goes with it. But I want to be wealthy. If not wealthy, content, comfortable. You know? I want to be somebody. I mean, I am somebody. I just want to be a rich somebody.
You ain't gonna tell me you see her in the supermarket and you're gonna say that's a fad.
Women don't go out of their way because they are women. I went out my way because I wasn't, and I felt that I wanted to be the best I can be.
The Virginia Slims girl is here.
This was not a game for me or fun. This is something that I want to live.
She's here in person.
Hopefully, God willing, by 1988, I fully hope to become a full-fledged woman of the United States.
Beautiful, and that is the perfect wrap-up to our Transgender in Cinema segment with JP Sebastian, of course. And the thing is, you got some movies to watch, The Death and Life of Marsha P. Johnson, as well as that one, which is Paris is Burning. So go check them out and open the mind. Coming up after the break, we got your Easter braai sorted out right here on Expresso. Stay with us.
There's a reason why home improvement leader Leroy Merlin is now opening their 4th store in Johannesburg. Because whatever needs solving, fixing, making or building, everyday South Africans are always making a plan. And Leroy Merlin are there to inspire you. They're just around the corner with the widest selection of construction, hardware, kitchen, bathroom, home decor and garden products to make any plan come together beautifully.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Wake, braai, sleep, repeat. Sounds about right for the long weekend ahead. A braai is without a doubt a favorite South African tradition, and what better way to celebrate Easter with your family, man. Get around a fire. Chef Clem Pedro is here to talk us through the must-have braai essentials, and he's brought along a mince rinser as well.
Okay, so Wool was really impressed with Zoe, went out and created this thing for Zoe. It's an official rinse your mince pan.
No, it's not.
So now you can rinse your mince professionally. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
No, it's
because
not.
rinsing your mince is ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
It's okay. But I do want to talk about some braai essentials.
Can I ask you first, though,
Yes.
because there is something special. You've taught me how to cook meat.
Stop it.
No, you have.
Thank you.
And now restaurant quality steaks, okay? Something I'll be forever grateful, and everyone I cook for is forever grateful. But there is something about a braai that is just so good for the soul. What is it about a braai that you love the most, dude?
There's something, I can't explain what it is. When you light the fire,
it's primal.
People just get, I mean, you maybe just even doing a marshmallow.
Yeah.
But people will always gather around a fire. And it's amazing. I've got the fondest memories of like rugby camps, friends, meeting new people, becoming best friends, family. Sure. What happened at the bachelor's party?
Well, I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't know.
Literally, it's amazing. And it's like, I remember I was like 10 years old. My dad was in hospital. He had a spinal injury, operation. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to make my family feel happy. I'm going to braai for them.
You became a braai.
And then that at the age of 10. And it's just the memories you have surrounding braai. Everybody's got an amazing braai memory.
Completely.
So it's the one thing we have in common. So I was like, let's talk about braai essentials, because your mom's salad bucky and the fork, you have to put it away now.
Yeah.
It's a new generation of braai masters.
It's time for you to become, you know, they're 10-year-old boys now looking at their dad like, I'm there, I'm going to become.
And
okay, so.
And female braai masters, I feel like, I'm going to just say it.
Yeah?
Lately, I've been like seeing some female chefs cooking better than the men.
Yeah, man.
So I'm just saying, let's talk about the essentials, okay?
Okay, dude, so what is your ultimate tool?
It starts off right in the beginning with your charcoal, 100%. Your wood, whatever you're using.
Yeah.
And your fuel that you use, it's not all the same thing. There's different results. This is what I go to, restaurant-grade charcoal, every single time. It's slow burning, holds its heat for such a long time.
It's also adjustable heat, because if you fan the flames of a charcoal braai, you can raise or lower the heat,
so much. And that's when you have an amazing fuel like this charcoal. It is different. If you've never used this before, it's a lump charcoal. If you've never used it, use it. You'll see your game's about to just go through
and the flavor, the smokiness just on a different level.
That braai essence. It's now, I'm talking to Woolworths, we try to bottle it. So you can just... We're working on it.
That's what you smelled like this morning.
Did you smell it?
I was like, wow, that's one at a late night.
Let's talk about the fuel. Cool. The next thing is a good braai grid. Ooh. A good braai grid. Honestly, we prepared some fish, some snook earlier this week. If you ever do snook just over top of a grill and you have to flip it over, it's a nightmare.
It's impossible. No, it's impossible. It's not a nightmare.
A good braai grid, it's impossible, you're right. It's simple. You just get it, turn over.
And like this is robust, eh? This you can get your 1 kilogram T-bone in there.
You can, absolutely. Yeah. And there's a nice long handle, which means you don't have to stand too close to the fire when you're turning. Nice and long, so away from that heat. Let's put this down.
See, that's why chefs, he draws his eyebrows on these days, because he once got too close.
Microblading, and then to get it on. Talking about that heat, sometimes when you have to get close to the fire, maybe if a log of wood has fallen off, or if you need to move your braai to another place because someone's shouting, my washing's on the line, move your braai, this is what you go to. And a good pair of braai gloves are essential. You don't think you need it until you get it and you realize all those scars and the missing hair on my hands. Not necessary.
Oh, buddy.
A good pair of braai gloves are beyond essential. And I mean, I'm telling you, get it, you'll understand why.
I dig it.
Next thing, the tongs. The tongs are, again, put that fork away. You're just going to get too close to the fire, you're going to burn. A good set of tongs, and I mean a proper long set of tongs with the grippy bit at the end. Get this.
Yeah.
Don't get the funny flappy bits in the end.
No, you need strength.
You want this. You want strength, and you need to grip it so you can actually turn these over. The problem with the other ones is if it's a wrong set of tongs, you can actually break the food, falls through the grid, and no. It does become the dog's food then. Good for the dog, not for you.
Not for you, okay. And then finally, one last thing, you got this.
The rinse your mince pan. A braai wok is so amazing. When you're working with food like prawns, what happens is when they cook, they curl over, and sometimes they can fall through those holes. Which actually, if you get this, you can actually wok fry vegetables and prawns on your braai using this. And Zoe, we're going to send you one because we do believe you can rinse your mince in this pan.
If you are so inclined. Absolutely love it, dude. Okay, well, we're going to start talking about what you could possibly braai with all of these braai essentials. Love your work, dude. Yesterday, of course, we gave you guys at home the opportunity, one lucky winner at least, the chance to win a 1,000 Rand Woolworths gift card. Imagine what you could buy for the braai with that. By telling us which Woolies Easter outfit would get you overjoyed to see your little one in, and the winner has been selected. Drum roll, please. Congratulations, Theo Gracious, Ashley, Pearl, Theo! Well done. So you chose the bunny spot print dress, which was a firm favorite yesterday. Hashtag Woolies Easter, hashtag Expresso Show. We hope you add that gorgeous dress to your shopping basket. Braai Essentials, gorgeous dress for the kid. You are sorted. Remember, you guys stand the chance of winning your own 1,000 Rand Woolworths gift card to reply to the competition post on our Facebook or Twitter or our Instagram pages with hashtag Woolies Easter and tell us which braai accessory would get your braai Easter braai going, okay? And that competition is closing at 9 a.m. today. Its terms and conditions, though, can be found on expressoshow.com. And Annexure A, again, this is not actually to rinse.
It's not a rinse your mince pan.
Not to rinse your mince.
Sorry,
Please
Zoe.
don't say that.
Be the hero in your home with Leroy Merlin DIY retail stores and the widest selection of construction, hardware, kitchen, bathroom, home decor and garden products.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
The time is now. We are going to braai. Well, almost, kind of. Because we want you to be prepared. And Clem of De La Clem is standing by with the braai tongs in hand to share his, oh my word, brace yourself, sweet sticky pork ribs with minted cucumber slaw and naan bread.
Naan. All right. Earlier this year, I asked people, what's your essential summer Woolies item? This came up.
Boom.
Okay? Every time.
Get out.
Sweet sticky pork ribs. Then I was like, what's your favorite winter food item? And this guy came up.
Sticky. Autumn, winter, summer.
Doesn't matter.
Don't matter.
It's there. Okay. And this is such a delicious dish. The thing is, when you make ribs in general, it's actually like a 4 to 6 hour process, and Woolies have done that for you.
Yeah, because you need it soft. It needs to drip off the bone.
And tender.
Yeah?
And then they've gone and put it in the marinator ready for you.
Oh.
So while it's sitting there, it's already part cooked, and it's gone and get like that extra saucy goodness on there. It's amazing.
I will challenge you. In a restaurant, I will challenge the chefs out there to find a better tasting sticky rib sauce.
You know what?
To be
I
honest,
agree.
I mean, I love this. This is one of those that you think you've had your full, and then you have another one.
You have another one. I'm going to give this to you and actually ask you to pop that in that bride dish for me. And the best thing about these ribs is they actually are chefs working behind the scenes that are making this for you. And they are some seriously talented people.
Yeah, no, this goes beyond. This is kind of magic, man.
It is. Okay. So what I love about these pork ribs is they work amazingly on the braai. You can do them in the oven. If you have an air fryer, you're winning. You're winning. Okay. So it doesn't like limit you to only doing it in the oven. Oh, sorry, only on the braai. You're sorted. You can pop it in that little magical bin over there. It's invisible. It's fine. It's okay. There we go. Next one. You got the sweet, you got the rich, you got the sticky. Right? You don't worry about that. I got you, G. I got you.
Right, like that.
Don't worry about that. Yeah. You got the sweet, you got the rich, you got the sticky, and the smoky. We're going to cut that through with a little bit of freshness, a little bit of tanginess. I've got some julienne cucumber, and you can grate this cucumber. I just felt like being fancy because it's the Easter weekend. I'm going to go the extra mile to make everything look beautiful.
Bougie, yeah.
All right, pop that to the side. Then we're going to hit it with pepper, okay? Pepper and cucumber go really well together. Okay. I don't eat cucumber, but I know it does.
I'm thinking even a bit of white pepper would be fine in that.
If you again,
because that I'm understanding what you're saying with that fresh, with the peppery undertone. That'll be great.
Absolutely.
So is it an overtone or an undertone?
It's an undertone. It's an accent. It's a nuance.
A nuance.
It's a tickle of white pepper.
So if you're going to be bougie, it's definitely a tickle, yeah.
So like I said, I don't eat cucumber, but I make the salad for my wife, and she loves cucumber salad. She's actually
Why don't you eat cucumber, man?
I don't know where she is right now. She's somewhere in the studio. Actually brought her. Let's bring her wife to work there. So maybe I'll bring her in a little later. Mint goes in. Try not to add the woody bits. Actually, let's talk about that. Mint has a very woody stalk. So tear the leaves off and don't get the stalks in there because your guest is going to be chewing and chewing and chewing, and then they're going to smile and they're going to have a very green stalky smile. You don't want that. All right, so give this a mix. This is delicious and fresh. It works every time and works so well with those pork ribs.
Why don't you like cucumber, bro? It's weird. Come on, cucumber's fresh and
why don't you like coriander?
Because I'm genetically predisposed. Okay.
I will just accept it. I'll accept it. Okay, so pop that next to our ribs. And then
that looks beautiful as well.
It does,
look at the freshness. You've got the smokiness and that deep braai flavor there, and you've got this beautiful pop of fresh.
It is so delicious. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little perinase. Again, so this is for me. This is what I would make for myself because I'm not going to have the cucumber salad. Perinase, by the way, is the easiest thing to make. It's good quality mayonnaise, and I got the Woolies tangy mayonnaise and the Woolies hot peri-peri sauce.
And go with the tangy. Don't hold back. Go with the tangy.
And depending on how hot you like it, that's how I like it. Okay, and this is great because if you get your naan bread, you toast your naan bread, a little bit of that cucumber slaw in there, you can actually slide the bone
meat off the bone.
Right.
That being said, buddy, because I know so much of the work has already been done here, how long should you be braaiing your ribs for?
These ribs? These ribs you can actually do, if you are a master braaier, you can actually do them on a nice high heat, keep on rotating, 20 minutes, okay? But I say let it go for half an hour. Like let it really warm through, caramelize.
Keep turning it, okay.
There's people say, oh, you should only turn your meat once.
No.
Lies.
No.
Turn your meat as much as you have to get that good glaze, that good cook, that good sear, that good caramelization on it. Turn your meat. Turn your meat on, if it's in a pan or on the braai, turn your meat as much as you have to. That's why you're using that braai grid.
Sure.
So this is how we're doing it. So Graham wants to do a little drizzle.
Cool.
Just on the side. You sort it. You get this in a big platter, get your guests around the table, start telling old stories, talk about Christmas. Easter.
And Christmas if you want.
If you want to. You can talk about
you can talk about whatever you want, man.
Just have the braai, get your family around the table and eat the food.
Oh, man. They will eat. Let the people eat ribs any time of the year. But what a way to celebrate Easter with your family. That's the most important thing. Brother, love you, man.
Love you, man.
No, I love you.
I almost went in for the hug.
Oh, I love you,
Social distant.
No, actually, I love your ribs, dude.
Great recipes and a recipe for a bromance between Clement as well as Graham. But here are some real news headlines for you this morning right here on Expresso. And starting off with statistics, South Africa's quarterly employment report shows an increase of 76,000 jobs in the fourth quarter compared to the third quarter of 2020. On an annual basis, however, total employment decreased by 594,000 jobs between December 2019 and December 2020. The increase in employment was mainly in the part-time segment, with an increase of 87,000 jobs. Full-time jobs fell by 11,000. The increase in jobs was mainly in the trade, community services and business services sectors. There was a decrease in the construction, manufacturing, transportation and mining sectors. The Automobile Association says it expects a further hefty hike in fuel prices in April. The additional 27 cents added to the general fuel levy and road accident fund levies announced by Finance Minister Tito Mboweni in February come into effect in April and will add costs to every litre of fuel purchased, in addition to the increased monthly adjustment. Petrol is set for an increase of 73 cents a litre, diesel for an increase of 39 cents, and illuminating paraffin for an increase of 37 cents. Moving abroad, Tanzanian President Samia Suluhu Hassan, the first woman to occupy this post, has appointed Dr. Philip Mpango, who has been serving as finance minister, as vice president. All 363 lawmakers that voted on the matter yesterday approved Mpango's nomination. Hassan became president of the East African nation following the death of John Magufuli this month. Mpango is said to be a renowned liberal Democrat who will help boost the president's economic agenda. He is not linked to any factions in the ruling party, which means he doesn't have political baggage. Heading over to the World Health Organization, who says further investigation is needed to conclusively rule out a theory that COVID-19 emerged from a laboratory in China. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said yesterday more extensive research was needed. The virus was first detected in Wuhan in China's Hubei province in late 2019. The Chinese government has dismissed the allegations of a virus leak. Since the novel coronavirus was first identified, some 2.7 million people are known to have succumbed, with more than 127 million cases worldwide. And next, why the president addressed the nation half an hour later, and that was just last night. Xhosa newsreader Noxolo Grootboom was very emotional yesterday after President Cyril Ramaphosa announced that he had moved the address to the nation from 7 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. to allow country to watch her last bulletin before retiring. Grootboom, who has been working for the SABC for 37 years, said farewell to the microphone last night. Her publicist Yolisa Njamela says that after seeing the president's message, she just broke down in disbelief. Njamela said she was absolutely overwhelmed. The video of an emotional Grootboom in her home shows her holding her face in her hands and shedding tears in disbelief. The president had initially planned to address the nation at 7 p.m. regarding developments in the country's response to the COVID-19 pandemic, but it was delayed by 30 minutes to allow SABC viewers to watch the veterans newsreader's final bulletin before retiring officially. A chorus of messages of appreciation have been sent to Grootboom on her retirement. One described her as a torchbearer of the isiXhosa language in the newsroom. We extend our best wishes to Noxolo, and may she enjoy a fabulous retirement. That's a wrap of your news headlines for the morning right here on Expresso. Let's move over to sport. Here's Graham.
We certainly wish Noxolo well on the next phase of her incredible journey. What an honor to chat to her yesterday. Well, let's get back into our sporting headlines one last time. Let's start with netball and the table-topping South African team that made easy work of Namibia in a 59-26 win, making it now 3 out of 3 against our neighbours. So the Proteas could go undefeated for the entire tournament should they win in their final game up against probably their toughest opposition in the competition, Uganda, later today, and be awarded that Tri-Nations trophy for their impressive efforts. A close encounter in the rematch between the baby Proteas and the President's 12 saw the President's 12 win by the smallest of margins, just 2 goals in a 36-38 thriller. So the final games of the series will get underway at 2 p.m. today as Namibia play the President's 12. That while South Africa then take on Uganda at 4 p.m. before the closing and awards ceremonies. Now boding well in an Olympic year as we turn to athletics. An explosive 200 meters at the ASA Invitational Meet in Rudaport yesterday saw Olympic champion Wade van Niekerk clock an impressive 20.1 to win ahead of Akane Simbine, who is fresh from running the fastest 100 meters of 2021. That happened last weekend in Pretoria. So this proved a much-needed boost for the South African van Niekerk ahead of his move to go train in the United States as he gets into final preparations for the Tokyo Olympics later this year. And we're still enjoying the football on the international scale. Of course, Nigeria ending their AFCON qualifying campaign with a solid 3-0 win over Lesotho, while Guinea-Bissau, they booked their place in the finals after defeating Congo also by 3-0 margin. They finish second in Group 1, and that's behind Senegal. While Senegal played out to a 1-1 draw against Eswatini after coming from behind, a goal down, in fact, after half-time. Now moving to Europe, European champions Portugal came back from 1-0 down to win against Luxembourg with goals from Diogo Jota, Cristiano Ronaldo and João Palhinha, sealing a 3-1 win in the end. Jota scoring the equaliser for the current European champions as the forward continued his impressive form for club and country, having now been involved in 8 goals in 5 starts for Portugal this season. Some other results from the night saw the Netherlands put 7 past Gibraltar, while Belgium were also on fire, scoring 8 against Belarus in another thumping win. And that's a wrap of your sport for this Wednesday morning. Let's get one last look at some of your beautiful sunrise pictures.
Thank you to every single viewer that has taken the time to share their sunrise photos with us. We started off the morning with Angela Burnley, who shared this photo of the sun rising in the distance, in between the clouds, casting a beautiful gold and red glow across the country, and the sky, I should say. Mariska Natasha Christians, thank you to you from Eldorado Park, shared this blue skyline. At 7 a.m, Anika Kaiser from George shared this beautiful image of the sun rising in the distance. And last but not least, Nkosana Peterson from the Mother City sent through this stunning golden image. Please continue interacting with us on social media by sharing your sunrise photos with us. We love seeing how you start your day, and don't forget to let us know where you are so we can also give you a brief forecast for the weather in your part of the world. Now, while we enjoy experiencing a sunrise from your part of South Africa, we do have some international viewers tuning in on YouTube as well as the Africa channel in the USA. And this morning we report on the weather from Naples, Florida. Now, Naples is largely a tourism-based city due to its proximity to the Everglades. Naples is also popular among eco-tourists. Naples experiences a tropical savanna climate. The beach on the coast of the Gulf of Mexico is more than 16 kilometers long and known for the pristine white sand. Today you can expect periods of cloud and sunshine with a maximum of 29 degrees Celsius. Now, staying with some weather news, encouraging environmental news is that the government yesterday released a revised climate change policy document for public comment, significantly reducing the upper limit target for harmful carbon emissions seen over the next decade. The draft document, which updates a 2015 study, outlines the mitigation, adaptation and financing policies South Africa, Africa's worst polluter and most industrialized country, will pursue. Once finalized, it will be deposited at the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change before November. South Africa has already introduced a carbon tax and intends to decommission several coal-fired power plants by 2030 as it diversifies its energy mix to include solar and wind projects. So good news for the planet. Over to your part of the planet when it comes to temperatures, and let's start you off with Polokwane. 14 to 26 degrees today with a 25% chance, that is of precipitation for you in that area. Bombela, hello to you. 18 to 32 you can expect in your part of the world. Pretoria, 15 to 26. Johannesburg, 13 is the low to a high of 24. Mahikeng, a bit warmer today, 27, 13 the low. Klerksdorp, even warmer, 29 degrees the max from a minimum of 14. Kimberley, shining bright like a diamond as always, 17 to 28. Bloemfontein, 13 to 26. Richards Bay goes from 21 to 33 degrees, so hydration and sunscreen there, please. Pietermaritzburg, same for you, 33, and that's from a low of 16. Durban, 20 to 30 today. Mthatha, 11% chance of rain, so partly cloudy in your area with a max of 33 and 12 the minimum this morning. East London, 17 to 25. Cradock can expect 33 in the afternoon from 11 this morning. Gqeberha, 16 to 23. 24 maximum in George, 14 the low, 25% chance of rain. Cape Town, some rain and clouds in your skies today, 20 the high from low of 15. Worcester, 13 to 27. Sutherland can expect 23 the high from a low of 7. And then Uppington wrapping up with you, as always, 19 to 33 degrees. Thanks a lot for always sending your sunrise photos. I saw all of them this morning. They were fantastic. Let's do it again tomorrow and keep on posting whenever you can and tell me exactly where you're from. Just go onto the Expresso Facebook page.
Thank you so much, Carl Wasty. And of course, we are back with incredible drag performer Jade K. Johnson as she takes to the Expresso stage one more time to perform $1 Million Bill, a song by sensational vocalist Belinda Davids, who performed it right here on your Feel Good Breakfast show. Take it away, Jade.
Everybody, makes you go right up, down, get you spinning round and round. Say, come on, oh, baby. It's been a long, long time since I found that love was in my way. Oh, I've been looking, I've been searching for the man to touch this place. Oh, yeah. The way that he is making me feel about his love. I've been looking for something like this. I'm saying, whoa. And if he makes you feel, say, makes you go right up, down, get you spinning round and round. Say, come on, if he makes you feel, say, come on and say, makes you go left, right, up, down, round and round. If it feels good, if you're feeling good, put one hand in the air, say yeah. If it feels good, if you're feeling good, 'cause love is in the air. Love is in the air, yeah. Come on and say, come on and say, makes you go left, right, up, down, around, around. If he makes you feel, makes you go left, right, up, down, round, around. Come on and say, oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Say, oh, baby.
Take your mask off.
$1 million bill. That is what you made us feel like. Jade K. Johnson, thank you so much. Also, the dancers from We Defy Entertainment. Listen, where can people catch you on social media? What can we expect for 2021 from you?
You can catch me on JDK. Yeah, just JDK. Ik wil nog wat maar aan van. You can catch JDK on Facebook. On Insta, it's JDK6. And my performance is always at Berta's in Woodstock. And yeah.
Well, we're going to keep up to date with all of that. But do let us know what you thought of that performance. Expresso Morning Show, SABC3. We'll see you after this.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso on SABC3. Now, the thing is, I want energy with this, because when I say these words, I'm not looking for a ding-ding. I'm looking for and also I want you to do it too. So wherever you are, I think people in your house will probably look at you like, what are you doing? It doesn't matter, because this is your moment. It is time for another installment of the Culinary Hotline Bling. Ting, ting, ting! Yes!
They wouldn't let me bring a vuvuzela. Why?
I can do that right there. Dase. I do a mouthazela.
Amazing.
That's
Amazing.
what I do. Every now and then I do a little party trick called the mouthazela. But we are joined by one of our favorite chefs, Chef Clem. I promise you this man, he will help you with anything in the kitchen. If a ladle is broken, he will come and help. And if you have any questions, please remember this number. It's another thing to remember, 021 110 555 2. It is time to shine. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Let's do this. Okay, now I know we have a very special guest here today.
Yes.
And this particular person, I'm very excited about having them in the kitchen because for the first time ever, there's somebody in this kitchen that will be my size. 12-year-old Jesse Peterson.
Jesse!
Welcome. Bring him out. Here we go. I am so excited. Do you know what I got here? I got this apron. All right, I also got it in, this is my size, because it'll fit you as well. This is yours, and I want you to enjoy this. I'm going to adjust it for you. How are you doing, by the way?
I'm fine, and you?
Good, man. Okay, come on. There we go. Almost like a crowning ceremony. Look at that. You look amazing.
We should have gotten some music in for that one, like a proper crowd. Can I tie your apron strings for you?
Yeah, we have to do this together. There we go.
There we go.
Looking sharp, eh? That's it. You're part of the team now.
You are.
You're on the payroll.
Yeah, he is.
Yes, he is. Okay, Jesse, welcome. And I know that you are here to help us. You're also here to ask a couple of questions as well. Is that correct?
Yes.
So you had a particular question for our amazing chef, Chef Clem. So what's that big question that you want to ask him?
I would just ask him, how do you make a perfect butternut soup?
And I like this one.
Oh, yes.
Because winter's coming. Winter's coming. And butternut soup, it's one of the most popular soups, hands down, in the world. Also the easiest to make. And I'm going to teach you an amazing way to get big flavor out of a soup that takes like almost no effort. Earlier this week, I had to cook with my eyes closed. This recipe you could almost do with your eyes closed, but don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, we start off in our pot, get a little bit of oil in there. We're going to make a Thai butternut soup.
Yo!
And it sounds so fancy, but in all honesty, I mean, the packet even slides out the box by itself.
Can Jesse get stuck in and help you out here? Is that fine?
Jesse?
It'll be great.
I'm going to give you, if you can grab your wooden spoon.
Nice.
And I'm going to add your curry paste to the pot, and you're going to start stirring for me. So the curry paste needs a bit of cooking. You want to cook those spices out. You want to bring the flavors
Aromatify.
back. Aromatify.
Oh, I thought you were looking for that word.
I was going to bring it back. It's like aromatify is not a word, but because Carl said it, it's a word now. Okay, so Jesse, this is your job. You're going to give it a stir. What you're looking for is you're going to start smelling that curry paste, and then the oil and the curry paste are going to start separating again.
Yeah.
Normally we don't want things to separate. This time you do. As soon as the oil separates and it's got the color of that curry, you know you've infused your oil, you've toasted the spices in your curry paste, and you're good. You're good.
I like this. And also, on a concept-wise, this happens with a lot of the dishes. If you want to bring flavor through, start with the oil getting that type of essence, right?
Absolutely. People are very shy when they make curries. They're very shy with the oil that they put in there. But the thing is, oil carries the flavor through of the curry. You need that oil to be in there. Jesse, how are you doing?
I'm fine.
You're good, you're good. So the oil goes in. Tell me, do you like curries?
Yes.
What's your, okay, if I had to say 1 being mild, 10 being crazy, crying, rolling on the floor, hot.
That's my
Where are you at in that scale? What heat level can you take between 1 and 10?
Maybe 6.
A 6?
A 6 is not too bad.
That's not bad.
A 6 will get you going.
And you, by the way?
You know, I'm more of an 11, 12, maybe 13, 14, 15.
I'm a 15.
Yeah, 15, yeah. Because the thing is, my favorite fruit is a habanero.
And it's a fruit.
It is a fruit.
It's a fruit. That's how intense you are.
This talent over here, I'm intrigued. So why is it a butternut soup thing for you, Jesse? I'd love to know why this soup was the one that you really wanted to get right. I'm sure there's something special you want to do with it, right?
Because it's creamy and it's like, it's not too thick and it's not too watery, it's just right.
That's so true, eh? And I think it's something about these babies, the butternut that you do. When they break down, they got that textural thing.
Yeah.
When you start blitzing it in the pot. And I like that too, because it's such a good mouthfeel.
Absolutely. And the thing about butternut soup is you can take it to that level of being a thinner butternut soup or what I call a stoop.
A stoop?
Not a stoop. a stew.
Oh, okay.
It's a stew crossed with a soup.
I
You
like
get
that.
very chunky texture. And it's all about how long you cook it and the texture you want and how much liquid you add. Sometimes you get, not a Woolworths, but sometimes you get very like watery butternut.
True.
The trick with that one is to actually roast the butternut in the oven first and then add it to your curry. I can smell it, I can see it. I'm going to hit you with the...
I can smell it too from this side of here. Jesse, by the way, you're a natural for TV chefing in the future. Can I just say that?
You are.
I just believe that I can watch the Jesse in the kitchen show. And, you know, you can take us through what's happening there. I'm sure that can happen right now as you're stirring through. You're saying the butternut is getting all the flavors.
You can smell it.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing, butternut's going in there and give it a chance to take on the flavors of that curry paste that's there. The liquid's going to come from coconut milk. There's that creamy that you spoke about.
Ah, that's it.
And then you can either go chicken or vegetable stock. Today we'll go veggie because we're keeping it veggie now for this one.
Okay, cool.
And that's going to add so much more flavor. You're going to let this cook in the sauce until the butternut becomes nice and tender.
Nice.
Don't forget your salt because you can have the best spice mix in the world. If you don't have any salt in it, you're not going to taste anything. So salt goes in, and butternut is quite starchy, so I can take a little bit of salt.
Nice.
And then pepper.
Salt and pepper. Okay, seasoning goes in. That's beautiful.
Give it a good way. Do you cook at home?
You serious? Sometimes.
What's your one go-to dish that you cook at home?
Curry.
Curry.
I feel like you could be our cousin. You know, I think you could be part of our
even
family.
look alike.
There's a look-alike thing there.
We're brothers. We're happy, and we're making butternut soup.
Culinary.
And no, we do as well. We cook as well. Like at home, curry's our go-to. And just so I can prove it now, we cook curry like 5 times a week. Can my wife please come in just to give me a backup?
Please.
She was having such a good conversation with Jamie Lee in the background, and our good friend Liberty, guys, Liberty, very special human being, and one of our closest friends. Liberty, thank you for being on the show. Tell them about our curry episodes. Like 2 o'clock in the morning, we wake up and we're like, we feel like a curry.
Yeah.
We don't have any kids right now, but we're taking advantage of it.
Right now, take advantage.
Take advantage. We will wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and make a crayfish curry. Because we can.
That's normal, right?
Isn't that the only time to make crayfish curry?
It is.
Early hours in the morning?
It is,
right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
So that is perfectly flavored for breakfast.
Thank you very much, because it has to sit a bit, and then it kind of gets the flavors. I know, that's why these are the dynamic couple. In fact, your relationship is a curry. It's about all the full flavors just sitting together for years and years and just feeling that amazing boldness in that final plate.
Relationship segment and analogy.
Wow.
I'm just
We are a masala of just everything.
Don't worry, Jesse, you'll get there one day, young man.
Jesse, you'll get there. Okay, we're making Jesse nervous. So, okay, we're gonna.
That's it. No, but this is a good start for you. I mean, just letting you know.
All right, thanks
for joining us. But I wish that it was you and not Clement, but it's okay. Anyway, so I'm just trying to make it, make you feel special. That's it. That's important.
Okay.
All right. So we are breaking down that. That's going to go for how long do you think it'll take for the butternut to get tender?
20 minutes.
All right.
And then, do you have a stick blender at home or a jug blender?
Yes.
Okay. You can either mash it with a masher,
nice,
or you can blend it nice and smooth to get that nice, soft, silky texture in your butternut soup. Jesse, I've done like nothing. I've just poured a few things in. You have made that butternut soup. So I'm going to challenge you. Winter's coming. Make this butternut soup, make it your own, take a picture, send it to us on Facebook, or even send us a video of you stirring your butternut soup that you've made. We're going to play it live again.
Yes.
Because I want to see Jesse make this butternut. Also, Barakat, I'm going to give you a 2-liter container. Please send back.
Please, an ice cream container.
Ice cream container. I'm going to send it with you. Please send us some. We cook a lot, but we're always ready to get
the
some.
thing is, butternut soup you can freeze as well.
And because, yes, absolutely. And because we've got a curry paste in there, like any good curry, it's going to taste better tomorrow. It's going to taste better the day after that. This is the curry that keeps, the butternut curry soup that keeps on giving.
That's beautiful.
Jesse, did you learn something today? Did I do something right?
Yes.
Okay, this is good. I mean, you always do something right, Chef. That's why we love you. In fact, we got a comment on this, and somebody said adding, a bit of dal to the butternut soup as well. Is that something that you could probably add and make it happen?
Absolutely.
Just to kind of thicken it up a bit?
And the good thing about that is the soup will probably serve about 6 people. When you add that dal and you add extra stock to it, you're going to be able to serve 10 people. And it's so hearty, it's so good for you. And getting those extra grains in there, the pulses in there, 100%. That dal. Yes. Bring back, we're going to do some dal this winter.
No, we have to.
We're going to do some dal this winter.
We are going to do it because remember, with Chef Clem, there's never a dal moment. And that's why we enjoy it in the kitchen with this beautiful, beautiful opportunity. Thank you very much. I'm here all week. Jesse has been stewing away that. Thank you for doing it. Smelling so good. And if you do have any culinary conundrums or want to share your kitchen fails, please feel free. You can call us right now on 021 110 5552. And also, with energy. This is the culinary hotline bling. Ting, ting, ting! We'll be right back. It smells so good.
It smells so good. Jesse.
Here's to you, Mzansi. Get 50% off the attorney bond registration fee plus 5,000 Rand cashback on your approved home loan. Dial *120 *001 *123 hash to find out how much you qualify for.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
With so many of us, myself included, spending a lot of time working from home, home renovations are now topping our to-do list, especially in the hope of creating a more professional-looking office space in our homes, making windows a massive consideration. Well, Metal Windows CEO Larry Foreman is here to talk about the company's innovative aluminium and steel windows and how they can really elevate just about any space, and hopefully your space as well. Larry, so good to have you join us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on.
Well, you know what? I love meeting CEOs, and especially when you get to talk about a company, there's always such a unique story behind what sets you apart and why you've been going on the trajectory that you have. Larry, what sets Metal Windows apart?
Well, we're a small family-run company. We're hands-on and we're passionate about what we do. My personal passion is being on the cutting edge of window and door design. And that's reflected in our Foreman brand window and door systems, which were designed by me and my team, bringing all our experience over the many, many years that we've been in business, since 1957.
Wow.
To bear, it's to bring us to that cutting edge of design.
I love that when you can combine a history and a track record with the absolute latest. And we know that, you know, I'm joking about all of us working from home at the moment, but it's a real thing. All of us are having to think very differently about our home and our living space. Now, I understand you mentioned keeping it on the forefront with your Foreman series. How have you combined aluminium and steel in the House Henley project, those systems specifically? This sounds quite innovative.
Yes, it is. You know, people think that you need to use a particular window or door system throughout your project, but we have found that by combining them, we get the best that each of them have to offer to cover various design criteria. So on House Henley in particular, we wanted very weatherproof and soundproof bedroom areas that overlook this magnificent view. We wanted slim design lines, and we could do that by adapting our aluminium system to look like our steel systems. So they complement each other very well. And the key thing that we were looking for was not foregoing sight lines, in other words, view, to framing. So reduce the frame to as minimal as possible.
Let people focus on what's important. You know?
Through our products.
Yeah, I love that.
Are you one of those people that when you walk into a building, you observe and judge the window frames?
Does it come with the territory? Yeah.
I must say, I find it very hard to hold myself back, but judgment is the wrong term. What we like to do is really co-design with our clients, with their designers or with them directly, to try and achieve exactly their design aesthetic. So nothing that we do is not custom. It's all custom, all bespoke.
I like that.
Yeah.
And I know you're busy with a house in Camps Bay. I mean, I always drive, whenever I get to drive past there, I always look at these beautiful homes. Is that where Metal Windows' target market lies?
Well, our target market is quite broad. You know, we work in residential, retail, commercial spaces, industrial spaces. But the point is that our work is all custom and all driven by design. We don't compete on price. Every experience that a client will have with us is a custom experience.
So they get exactly what they want.
They get exactly what they want.
I think at the moment we are very trend driven, and I would imagine you have to, as a result, then work around that while being very bespoke. As you say, you've still got to fit within a broader mindset. What are some of those trends that have got you guys excited and your customers excited at the moment?
Well, for a moment there, many years ago now, we had almost given up on steel windows as a product line. But then I got one inquiry and a second one, and so there's still a very, very strong trend for very slim window design, and we get that from steel and from our custom systems that we've developed over the last few years to directly feed this particular design trend, which is ongoing, which I love. It's slim, it's unique, it's clean, it's industrial, it's Bauhaus. It's fun.
See, there's such a passion for it. And I mean, I'm someone that can do, especially on a platform like Pinterest, I have little boards for everything. And there's also a board for house inspo. And part of it is window designs and just the layout of it. Do people come with you with their Pinterest boards or their inspo and be like, can you make this for me?
Our social media presence is very strong on Instagram and Facebook in particular. Our website is up to date, and people come with images from our social media.
I want that.
I want this.
You know you've created a monster here, because now Zoe's going to go home and obsess about her windows.
I'm fine with that.
I'm going to go follow you guys.
That's what we need you to do on social media. Find us there. Check us out there.
A great way to plant that seed and then go and create something that is just for you. I absolutely love it. It's been a huge pleasure meeting you. I hope this is the start of a long journey. I think we can all be more inspired by our own living spaces, or maybe where we're working, or maybe even just that industrial space to get exactly what we need. We all want to live in a beautiful home, especially since we are spending so much more time there these days, and installing trendy steel or aluminium windows can make all the difference.
And remember to check out the beautiful Metal Windows projects on their website. That's metalwindows.co.za, and they are on social media. Give them a follow at Metal Windows on Facebook and Instagram. That's where all the inspo is.
Five? Oh, no. All I asked you is that they wanted to go back to the frozen fish to not make it watery very quickly before we go on to the next one. Do you mind doing that? Okay, awesome. I will cue you. So what I'll do is I'm going to say, quick one for frozen fish. We had a message from that person, and then that's how to make it watery. Klaar wat suus. And then I'll say, right, on to the next one. And is Brenda the pickle fish? And I'll say, okay, fine. I'm actually waiting for this phone to ring, and then like, yes, it did. That sort of vibe, just so to cue you. Cool, we're done. I love you. You know that there's love here. Sorry, I'm talking to myself. Yep, can you hear me talking to myself? Are we doing the opera version? Ting, ting, ting. No, I'm just kidding. So was it Forest? What song? Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is Expresso. We're live at SABC3. And as you know, this particular thing with energy, because now we've got Chef Clem in the kitchen and we've got Jessie, a 12-year-old future leader and president of this country.
Yes.
Just saying, with energy, you guys ready?
Yes.
It is the culinary hotline bling. Ding, ding, ding! You also have to have that fist there, just the kind of extra power, you know what I mean? Now, a little earlier, we dealt with a variety of certain things like, I mean, of course, butternut soup, creamy, beautiful. But you can call us right now if you have any culinary conundrums. We have the man for it. His name is Chef Clem. 021-110-555-2. Now, before we go anywhere, we had a little thing that popped up while we were having a kitchen break, and that is around frozen fish. And this is somebody that said frozen fish, sometimes, you know, you dry out fish. But this person's family member has a little problem with it becoming too watery. Can you help? It was Cindy, actually.
Cindy?
Yes.
We got you.
All right.
So the thing about fish, it's the technology around sourcing fish is so amazing. Obviously, with Woolies, everything's sustainable. When those ships actually get the fish in, they flash freeze them immediately. It locks in the goodness. You're getting it at its freshest point.
Okay.
Then you get home. It's time to make a dish.
Yes.
What do you do now? Okay. You take it out the box.
Yep.
What's your next step?
The next step is to thaw it out.
How do you do that?
I just leave it on the counter.
That's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
But what I've seen people do, and I need to just like, I'm not calling out names, okay?
Yeah.
But they either throw it in water, which you shouldn't do, because then it actually absorbs more water.
Yes.
I've seen people pour boiling water over it.
I've seen people microwave.
I've seen people microwave it. Don't do that. The fish will thaw out pretty quickly if you leave it at room counter.
Yes.
Obviously, if it's winter, it'll take a little bit longer. But let it thaw out on the counter. And that way, it's going to come back to its natural texture. Just pat it a little dry, and then you're good to go. So chances are you've tried to thaw your fish out in water. It's taken out all the excess moisture. As you cook it in the pan, it starts to steam.
Yes.
Bubble, water comes out. You're not getting the best out of the ingredients. So fish, always, and seafood in general, and meat, thaw it out at room temperature. Don't put it in water. Let it do its thing naturally. That's the trick.
I like that. And on the counter, don't try and force it. I mean, it happens quite often. And I think also just, I would do an oven grid as well sometimes so that the water drops instead of it sitting in its own water and absorbing more. There we go. Full of knowledge. I'm waiting for this thing to ring.
Okay.
I want Jessie to be a part of the... Yes! Are you ready? Are you ready, Jessie?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, no.
You want him to answer?
Jessie, go answer the phone.
This is the best thing ever. Just go for it.
Hello? Hello, Jessie speaking.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
We're putting you on speaker,
Yeah, speakerphone.
Okay, you can put it down, Jessie.
Thank you. That was brilliant, by the way. Best secretary ever.
Whoa.
Hello. Welcome to the Culinary Hotline Bling. Ting, ting, ting. How can I help you?
Hi, I just want to know about pickled fish.
Would you like a recipe, ma'am?
Yeah, the recipe that Clem did last year was fantastic.
Ooh, yes, the last week's recipe. It was
very
fantastic.
good.
Are you talking about last year's one or last week's one?
No, I did the one quickly last year, but I'd like to have the recipe that you did last year.
Okay.
Right, last year.
This is an adaptation of the one we did last year. Still going to get an amazing pickled fish. By the way, can I just say thank you to everyone that prepared the pickled prawn recipe. I'm seeing all those images come through. It is pretty amazing. Pickled prawns are the future. Okay.
No, it's a thing, eh?
It's such a thing.
Thank you.
Let's talk about pickled fish.
All right.
So, essentially, and we had this conversation earlier, this came out of necessity when fish needed to be preserved. And the best way to do that, and we know vinegar preserves things, but then we're like, wait. We can add flavor to that vinegar, and we can actually make it so much more. And that's where pickled fish actually came from. And I love pickled fish so much. Let's talk about how it all starts off. It starts off with the fish. Now we know it can be mussels, it can be prawns, it can be whatever seafood you want, even meat. I've seen some stuff being done, but the essence of it is that pickling liquid.
Okay.
So the spices go in. First, actually, I'm going to add the sugar. The pickle is a perfect balance between sweet and tangy, sweet and sour. Essentially, it's a carried sweet and sour sauce. That balance between your vinegar and the sugar, that gives you the levels, right? I like mine to kind of like, not to make me go, but I want to taste if there is vinegar in there, but I don't want it to be too sour. It's got to be perfect.
So is that a taste thing? I mean, is there a calculated quantity of sugar to vinegar ratio?
I kind of say go 2 parts vinegar, 1 part sugar, and start from there.
Okay,
Taste what that tastes like. And then you can kind of tweak it a bit. Add more sugar if you want, a little bit more vinegar if you want. Okay, the spice is going in. We got a Cape Malay curry spice mix from Woolies. But again, use a good garam masala. So many people in Cape Town, I found out now, how, like, they are so intense with their curry spice mixes. And Durban, forget it. You guys are at a whole other level. But literally the fact that they have a family spice mix, that gets me in my soul.
Accessible.
That makes me so happy to hear, like, I've got a family secret, and every month we make our masala mix, and that's our family masala mix. That makes you so happy.
So, Brenda, you're still there and you're watching. I know I'm watching in awe as well. Do you have any further questions for Chef Clem that you may have as he goes through the process? We just chatted about the pickle as well, but what do you think?
People add all kinds of little things to their sauces. So I just want to know, some people like to be a little bit runny, and others like a sauce, it doesn't be too thin. So I'd like to know what he adds in.
So I like the question because I do like a runny pickle fish sauce. Pick it up there with that hard cross bun, get it all in there.
Yes,
Some people do prefer a thicker sauce. I'm on the runny level. If you do want to make a thicker sauce, what you do is you make your whole pickle and you get your fish in there, and you actually take some of that pickling liquid out, just a ladle of it, and you put it into a bowl with corn flour. Just a little bit of corn flour, and you mix it through. That's called a slurry. Then when you make your slurry, you pour it back into your pickling liquid, bring it up to a simmer again, and you see it start tightening up.
Yeah.
But again, do this at a teaspoon of corn flour at a time. And when you add it to your mixture, which you're gonna add liquid to that slurry, add it back a teaspoon at a time. Because once it sets up on you, you're gonna have to add more liquid to it. So do it like a little bit at a time to get that perfect consistency. Again, I like a more liquidy curry. And that's me. I know some people like it thick, like a porridge. I've had that before.
Hey?
It's not my favorite.
A porridge of...
Like of pickle.
Yeah, Brenda, I agree with you. When you said that's exactly what was in my mind. I was like, no, don't give me pickled fish porridge, man.
But I also, I let people do their thing.
Brenda, thank you so much for giving us your question. Please follow the recipe now. Jesse's going to help us out too, and have a beautiful Easter this weekend.
And the recipe's going to be on the website for you. Go check it out. So got to talk about the spices.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Brenda.
Anytime. Thanks for calling. All right, Jesse, you need to jump in here.
Okay.
You know that... so do you eat pickled fish? Because I know that some people, 12 years old you are, or they're like, no to pickled fish. Are you in?
No.
Are you not in?
No.
Do you eat pickled fish?
No.
No! Earlier you told me sometimes.
Okay, but Chef Clem's pickled fish, can I tell you, that's a different ballgame.
You're going to try.
This is a different level. But please, jump in here and you can make this one.
You can. This is ginger that can go in there. You can give you this to help you get it in there. Ginger goes in. Garlic goes in. I've added a plethora of spices in there. The turmeric went in because that's that signature yellow color. The coriander seeds went in. My favorite herb of all time, bay leaves. Bay leaves.
Bay leaf. You know what I say, hey? They're unbelievable. Honestly.
Wow.
Thank you.
Love it.
I'm here for you.
Love it.
Always.
Jesse's not even... he's just there now.
He's stirring the pot slowly. Just thinking about the next liner.
The next liner. He's coming.
Your ginger and garlic.
Yes, sir.
Price-wise, or how are we looking these days? Are they still okay? Price-wise, for ginger and garlic.
Tell me.
It just went through the roof last year. Price-wise, given the fact that people were making their own sort of immuno recipes at home.
Right, I think it's kind of stabilized now.
So it's stabilized, thank goodness.
Bring back the ginger garlic, it's fine.
Okay, that's okay. That's good. As long as the prices are good, we can add it in.
Absolutely. Okay.
So what else is going in there?
So I've added all the spices. Like I said, the coriander seeds is kind of important. You want to have that in there. You're going to get and those balls just roll off. Don't worry. If you bite it every now and then, it's okay. It's not like cardamom. You bite on that, you're done. You're done. Come back next year. You're done. So it's fine, but that's not in there. If you do, actually, in our allspice mix, which I add in as well, that's, a bit of that is ground up in there. And you can grind it up to avoid that, like, that grenade going off in your mouth. Okay, onions going in. And again, what we do with the onions, we don't slice them too thin or too thick. You don't want to do it too thin because then it just disappears and becomes a stringy onion. You don't want that. And too thick and it's just chewing on onions. It's okay, we got that. You can add your onions in and you can let those onions cook until they soften. Can I give you a hand? Are you good? You can go straight into the pot.
All right. So while we're doing that, I believe this phone needs to ring again. Can we multitask something? Can we do that? Did you see that my premonition?
It's amazing.
How should I answer?
Go for it.
Which accent?
Scottish.
I broke the phone. How are you doing? Culinary hotline bling. How can I help you? Hello?
Hello.
I'm sorry. Chef Clem said I should do a Scottish accent to say hello to you. Just wanted to say hello. You have a problem there?
Not at all.
Lekker. Right, do you have a question for Chef Clem? Please feel free.
Yes, I have got. I would like to know in connection with bread. Whenever I bake bread and I put it in the oven, It rises, but the inside of it is not, it's still raw. What can I do?
It rises, and then do you get a crust on your bread?
Yes, I do.
But the inside is still raw?
Yes.
Okay, so baking...
inside.
Yeah, baking is so specific, and it's such a science. I was going to check on Jesse. Jesse, are you okay?
Oh, yeah, he's got it.
And then ovens on top of that. You can buy exactly the same oven and put them side by side, the two ovens, and they will perform differently. And especially if you're baking and you're an avid baker, what you do when you get the first thing is get an internal thermometer that hangs inside your oven. And what I do, if you've got a 60 centimeter like we do over here, if you have a 90 centimeter, what I do is I put the thermometer on the left side, I put it 180, and I see what it actually reads. Then I put it on the right side, I set it 180 and see what it reads. Because you'll see that your oven will actually have hot spots. You'll have a hotter side and a cooler side. That allows you to then understand what side, if you're going to be proving a bread or if you're baking a bread, it'll allow you to see where the hotter spot of your oven is. That's your oven. The second thing is when you're proving your bread, it's important that you prove your bread twice. The first time is to activate the yeast and to give you that first rise. And then you knock it back, and then you fold it in and you put it into your bread dish, and it has to rise again. That second time of the rising is also going to give that initial shape. It's going to rise up beautifully, and it's going to get those fermented bubbles inside. It's going to make it airy. Then, when you put your bread into the oven, it's important to keep an eye on it, because now, even though it's risen, it's going to rise again. And I say the temperature for bread is always 180 for safety. There's certain breads like a brioche where you can actually bake it at 200 degrees, but 180 for safety is always what you need for the bread. If your bread starts to rise and brown, but the inside of your bread is still doughy, you take a piece of foil and you tent it over your bread, shiny side up this time. We never do shiny side up because it reflects heat away. By doing shiny side up, we're going to have a slow, constant temperature that's going to bake the inside of your bread without your outside of the bread turning browner. You know I can talk a lot.
Yes, you can.
But that should save you, and that way you will have the most perfect buns, breads, bakes, muffins, cupcakes, banana loaf, almond loaf, anything. Follow those steps. Also, that should save you. It's a lot, I know, but you can go to YouTube and you can go back and you can get all those tips that I've just given now. You can pause them as you need to write them down. I know those aunties that don't. The pencil is going.
There we go.
Go back to YouTube and get it out.
Thank you so much for your question. I hope that helped a lot.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you. Sorry about the Scottish accent earlier. You can take our lives, but you never take our culinary hotline. Bling, ting, ting, ting. Have yourself a fantastic morning, and thanks a lot. Also, thanks to Jessie, the 12-year-old in the kitchen. You've been amazing. Pickled fish going. Chef Clem, always incredible. And if you have any of those requests, any of those culinary conundrums, make sure you call this particular phone and Expresso Facebook page. And if you want any recipes, expressoshow.com. We got your back.
In your home desperately need a deep clean and declutter experience? This could be your chance to upgrade your space for you and your family to enjoy. SA's online cleaning hub, Cleanipedia, is giving away 2 room transformations worth 30,000 Rand each. Visit cleanipedia.com/ZA and sign up to enter. You could also stand a chance to win weekly prize hampers. Get easy, expert cleaning tips for a happier home at cleanipedia.com/ZA.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Thanks for staying with your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso, here on SABC3. Yes, your dose of Feel Good this morning. Now, we've had ENF and Sasha Martiningo, CZ James and Stephanie B. But when it comes to iconic duos on 5FM, there will be none quite like Rob Forbes and Fix Mweti, the DJs behind the Forbes and Fix show, which has run on the station for the past 9 years. Can you believe? 9 years?
That is a long time. And sadly, later today, Forbes and Fix are hanging up their their headphones as they broadcast their last show, officially making them 5FM's longest running duo. Well, they are now joining us via video call to reflect on their time at the station, as well as give us a little bit of a sneak peek as to what they're going to be getting up to after their departure. Good morning, Forbes. Good morning, Fix.
Good morning,
Good
morning.
Hey, guys. It's so good to see you guys, and so sad that after 9 years, I think for me, I've listened to you guys most of the 9 years, that I won't be hearing you guys on 5FM anymore. But Fix, you've described Rob as your, I read the post, you said work husband. And having a good relationship with each other must have been really key in keeping the show going for 9 years. What is it about your dynamic that we all love so much?
Oh my gosh, yes, a work husband he is. If you've ever been married, actually, if you have a boyfriend or girlfriend, you know how the ups and downs happen. 1 minute you are in heaven and you're doing the best content in the world. Next minute you disagree on something. That's like you two sitting there in studio. I'm sure you've also have a husband and wife relationship on TV at this moment.
Yep.
So it totally happens, and it's the best way to describe, because it is one of those relationships that you go in and you just go, this is me, this is who I am. We do personality radio. So for the past 9 years, we've had some of the best moments on air, some of the craziest moments on air, some of our lowest as well, and we've experienced that together. And that's something that you can't really explain to someone when you're experiencing it. So it's just been, it's been life, and it's been great.
It's amazing. And I know your listeners have been on this journey with you for the last 9 years. Now, Rob, how did the direction and the vision for the show evolve over the years? And do you and Fix have a standout favorite memory or moment or from an interview?
So when you come into a radio show, you sort of sit down and you decide, what are our strengths? Fix and I didn't know each other particularly well, so we had to decide, what do we like to do? And we're both outgoing and fun and quite light people. We don't like to get too serious. So we built a show in that direction. And the challenge then becomes to continuously be able to refresh the show over a period of time. As long as 9 years, you've got to keep reinventing. So, for example, our longest running feature called Liar Liar, we did it on our very first show. We're going to do it on our last show later on today. This is about the fifth version, the fifth different way we've done it. So it stayed there, but you have to keep reinventing every couple of years, because otherwise, not just the audience will get bored, we'll get bored doing it as well.
You see, you know what? When it comes to fun, you definitely have delivered exceptionally on the fun factor. Fix, you've played a series of games, and I love that Rob mentions Liar Liar, I think being such a fan favorite. One of my favorites too. Well, what have been some of your favorite games?
Ooh, there's so many. We actually, like in the past 7 days that we announced, we've actually had to bring back a lot of games and go, oh my gosh, we did that. Oh my gosh, how did we play that game again? Because that has been really a center, as Forbes says, of our show. We called it the fun show, the funsy shows, where we make you smile, we make you laugh. So sure, to ask me one game that I enjoyed the most, I've loved all of them. From Liar Liar to our 1212, we've got this AI robot that we created on the show called Guguletu Shabalala Amandla, and she has just been like an integral part of the show. And Forbes and I said, a lot of the features that we have created, we've heard on other radio stations a few months later or a year later. So I really do say that from a content perspective, we have been in the forefront of that. We have been pioneers of really trying to create different kind of content. And I feel like we pat ourselves on the back. We need to pat ourselves on the back for really being the forefront of that in radio.
And you should.
You definitely should. And I know, you know what, Rob, everyone, as one chapter closes, a new one begins. And I think everyone wants to know, what will you be up to after leaving the station? And it seems that you are also leaving radio for good, based on that tweet you sent. Are you allowed to tell us a little bit about where your journey is taking you next?
Well, we've got a whole bunch of things in the pipeline. I've registered a company recently. Radio's done for now. That tweet stands. There was no, I'm not announcing a new radio show somewhere else in the next month or whatever. As someone pointed out on Twitter, never is a long time, so you never know. But for now, I'm going to turn broadcasting, which is something I love, and I'm going to go a little more forward-thinking, and I'm going to take the broadcast to the place where more people are at the moment. So we're going to go and jump online, and I've got a whole bunch of things in the pipeline, a whole bunch of things planned. So if you do want to know, the announcements will be coming in the next month or so. At Rob Forbes DJ, you can follow me Instagram and Twitter, and all the details will be there.
Fixie, what about you, my dear?
For my side, I would definitely say, gosh, I've been doing a lot of things while I've been on the Forbes and Fix show for the past 9 years. I launched my Fix Scholarship 9 years ago, and with the Fix Scholarship, we'll continue to provide educational opportunities towards women in the social entrepreneurial space. And we've just launched our Affirmations for the African Child, which is a real heart and passionate project of mine. I'm really excited about that. We literally launched that last week, and I've delved into my yoga a whole lot more, so they'll be experimenting and doing more stuff on that journey. Social development is something that has been a calling for me for a long time, and it's a place where I want to explore here in South Africa and internationally. So we'll see where that takes us.
Well, I'm very excited for the both of you, and I know the last show is today, but I have to ask you if you could say, both of you, some last words to each other. What would it be ahead of today's big show?
Wow. You know what makes me sad today? Fixie, do you know what makes me sad today? Is that your background and my background are different, and we're not going to get to do this together.
Oh.
That makes me sad, dude. That's the one that's really going to hurt today, is I'm not going to get to give you a hug at the end of all of this and say goodbye and thank you.
It's got goosebumps.
You know, so many people leave the radio industry quite angry because normally you're told to get out, or they leave like, I'm not finished yet, I haven't done the radio thing that I'm meant to do yet. And the one thing I can say about Forbes and I is that we've gone, this has been our chapter. This has been amazing. We have done our duty for the country. We have served for this many, and we're good. Come in with new meat now. The old can go, the new can come in, and that's important. It's really important, and I've got to commend myself and Forbes. And I think the last thing for me is that we've done good, friend. We've done really, really good, and I am so proud of us.
One last thing, Rob and Fix, for one last time, just before you do it on your show later on, can you please give us your signature sign-off? In 3, 2, 1.
Only thing left to do from the Forbes and Fix show is say goodbye, Fixie.
Goodbye, Fixie.
Oh, thank you so much, guys. Well, with that, we do say goodbye to Forbes and Fix on our radios, and we do wish them the best of luck on their journeys ahead. And please do make sure to tune into the iconic duo's last broadcast on 5FM. It's going to be later today between 12 and 3, right?
It's going to be between 12 and 3.
What an emotional journey between the two, and it's so beautiful to see them part this way. Man,
I know, and thanks for the contribution. I mean, they are synonymous with fantastic radio, so whatever they do next, it'll be a success. Thank you very much for getting your fix of Expresso this morning. More to come tomorrow as we build up to Easter. Have yourself a safe day. Enjoy. You're beautiful.
We love you.
Love you more.
Make the most of glorious summer with your picnic favorites. Made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.